Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Victoris. This time with the playoffs of the rival series here in Valorant. So I'm your host here and like play by play in some sorts Volt, and I'll be joined by Waldingo. How are you doing today, Waldingo?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Vault. It's a beautiful day, and it is the first week of the playoffs. All right, it's the first exciting week of many, and I think today's match is definitely going to be one to remember. Vault, who we got up on deck right now?
Well, we have Mr. Fantastic here on the production. So with that out of the way, we can actually start talking about what we have on deck. So if we are gonna start with something, I would like to start actually where we left off last week, in the last week of the group stage and our standing and how did it go.
Well,
So
as oh,
mhm.
sorry,
No.
continue, sir.
No, you can go ahead because I was gonna like segue that into the way that we were gonna talk about what happened in
All right.
the playoffs.
Well, as it stands, last week we saw a lot of mixed bag results, a lot of FFs, a lot of matches not played. But however, we did see a lot of matches played, a lot of matches
Mhm.
won in nail biters and definitive fashions and otherwise. And that concluded our group stage to bring us to our final standings um in the rival series here. And so would you like to discuss the standings here, Vault, or shall I keep going?
Yeah, sure. Well, I can just lay them off and then we can talk about what's happened. So if you will have these on screen, that'd be helpful. But until then, okay, there we
There we
go.
go. Just like that.
So yeah, Group A is the more definitive group with Dorado Gaming Tango just taking a very convincing 7-0 group stage. Then you have Hingy, who were here last split, but I don't think that they've qualified for playoffs. And now look at them. They're 6-1 in second place in Group A. Then we have today's first consistent of the match, Botfrax Friends, on 5-2 in the third seed. And then to wrap it up for the playoffs, we'll have Hunter Association at 4-3. And then for the teams that didn't make the playoffs, we have Beckons at 2-5, Lucid equaling them that. And then we have GRD and CRBU in the bottom two seeds. Outside of that, we in Group B have, I would say, what was the more fiery group, especially towards the end. That last week was an absolute banger. We had Comet Esports Club at 6-1. They were always the clear favorites in the group. And then you have the other rival here in today's rivals game, Phantom Thieves, on a 5-2 as well. So they have the same score line as the Buffalo Friends that they are gonna go up against. And then we have Frey Freys, Fly Club, both on 4-3, and you can see like the group was very fire. You have three teams on 3-4, so it was all down to the wire in Group B between the Fractastic Five, ACT, Odyssey, and BN and Bandits. So that is how the groups have shaped up. I would say it's a pretty fiery group, especially towards the B side of the rival series. So what do you think about that, Balding? Do you have any like standouts, any teams that you feel were robbed, especially in Group B?
I wouldn't necessarily say that anybody in Group B was robbed. I think everybody, excuse me, everybody's in a position that they fought for, that they earned, and I think any team that wasn't excited about their performance is ready to go again next split. Which sort of brings me to my one big point that I want to bring up here
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that Phantom Thieves, who is one of our teams tonight on the stream, was in fact the runner up last split
Mm-hmm.
in our summer split. They unfortunately were not able to pull out the win against the team staring at walls and found themselves in second place. And so I really do think that this split they are gunning and ready to take that first place that they came so close to last split. And ultimately, I do think we're going to see that tonight. They're going to be playing with tenacity. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
be pulling out all of the strats that have put them where they are. And I do think that in the end, they are going to make a statement here tonight saying, we are here to play and we are here to get that rival series victory that eluded us last split.
Well, absolutely. We would love to see that from them. But this time, we have new challengers all around. Both Dorado Gaming Tango, as we can see, was the first seed with the playoffs. And the Comet Esports Club, now they are the top dogs in the league. So it will be a tough ask for the Phantom Thieves if they even manage to win tonight, which we are yet to see, to go against the winner of Dorado, the undefeated team in the rival series group stage, and Fly City, who looked pretty good but had some shaky games. So with that, maybe you can talk about the playoffs itself. So Baldingo, do you have any standout games other than the one that we have on air today?
Well, I definitely will be interested to see where Dorado Tango falls in terms of Fly City, because as we all know, Dorado Tango, they went undefeated in their group stage. Fly City, however, wasn't in that group. So
Mm-hmm.
I think really when it comes to any matches against people in, or I guess against teams in Group B, Dorado Tango has a little bit of a wild card to play against because they've experienced every other team, or every team in Group A, right? And they've beat them almost
Mm-hmm.
handedly every time. But when you get
Yeah.
this fresh batch of teams to play against, even if they do have VODs, even if they do have, you know, data on these teams beforehand, I do think that it's a little bit of a different animal when you start going into those games against teams that you've never played against before. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is Dorado Tango's first split here in the rival series, correct?
That would be correct, indeed.
Exactly. So
So, mhm,
the I'll finish and then I'll let you carry off here, Paul.
mhm,
But I think that I'll be interested to see really how Dorado Tangos perform because we've seen that, we saw them essentially steamroll the first group A.
mhm.
But I think that the teams in Group B, as you said, they're a lot hotter, they're a lot spicier, they're much more up and at 'em. And I think that Dorado Tango's performance into the teams that come from Group B is really what's going to determine the outcome of this bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I'll just have to remind you one last time of the other playoff bracket games that will be played today, but will not be on stream. We already discussed Dorado against Fly City. And then for the rest, we will have Phantom Thieves against Botfrack Friends, which will be on air today. Comet Esports Club against Hunter Association, which looks to be Comet's favorite, but who knows? Maybe the Hunters can bring something out of the bag. And then the other second v third seed will be Hingis from Group A against Frey Frey team, the team that absolutely stole their playoff slot in the last week.
This
So
is
yeah,
true. This is
mm-hmm,
definitely true. I can remember us all sitting in the call deliberating. Okay, if Frey Frey wins and oh bollocks,
Fantastic Five.
and a Fractastic Five win, then they've got to do this, and maybe this will happen. But then, oh no, this can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Open
I
up your
remember
calculator, boys.
exactly. We were pulling up the calculator, the stops, the Excel spreadsheets, but in the end, I think we learned before the final map of that night
Mm-hmm.
that Frey Frey did in fact definitively steal that spot. But I think that I think that's going to make for a lot more interesting
Mm-hmm.
of a playoff bracket because now especially when you look at it, it's funny to well, not funny to look at, but it's interesting to see. You have Dorado Tango at the top,
Mm-hmm.
undefeated, absolutely dominant champions, and then you go down to the bottom where Frey Frey's team just managed to scrape by here. And I do think that a part of that mentality going into a losing match because personally, right, I was a wrestler in high school, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it's mental, and I think it's the same thing about Valorant. But when you go into these matches and you go into these situations where things could go south very easily, I think having that mentality of absolute grit and just wanting to show up and play, which I do think Frey Frey's team is going to have, I think that will give them the same fire. And I think playing against these teams in Group A, I think everyone in this bracket has something to prove here, and Frey Frey's team is definitely one to look out for.
Definitely. So we will just segue then from the talking about the bracket in entirety to today's matchup. We have, as we've talked about, the Buffrack Friends and the Phantom Thieves. So we already said that one of these teams were the runner-up for the last split, but the Buffrack Friends are actually coming in storming with their double duelist playstyle here that a lot of people aren't being capable of like dealing with in time and adapting to it in time, especially when you have someone as Myth just like one tricking the Euro and bringing everything out of left field. So how do you feel the bot track friends will be doing in this playoff match with like such a, I would say, an aggressive double duelist centric comp.
Well, I definitely think it will fall back on Phantom Thieves then to uh, find themselves in a more defensive position. Obviously, I like to think that that any duelist heavy composition I find is very intimidating to go up against because that in a vacuum, theoretically speaking, the odds are kind of stacked against you. You've got people with flashes, movement, sustain, any of these mechanics that really do make winning, for instance, a site take or a retake or anything of that nature. It makes it that much harder because that the other team has that sort of front loaded aggression that makes those key, beginning of the round moments count. However, when we look at the Phantom Thieves roster, specifically at Cinder and Young Toad, both of these players do have flexibility with controllers, and with Sentinels.
Initiators? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
and initiators as well. Specifically, Cinder I know is on the chamber, which I know there's a lot of community discussion about if he's actually a Sentinel. Oh no, he's a duelist. For the sake of discussion, we'll say he's a Sentinel as he was designed. Um, and then we have Young Toad on these controller agents, which will definitely be a big part, especially if we see what sort of maps we get played on here, because as we know, certain maps are absolutely controller dependent. Not necessarily. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. But rewinding,
Okay.
the necessity for controllers is exaggerated on some maps, and I think that if Phantom Thieves can manage to get those maps into their pool and work with them there, I definitely think that they will have the ability to deal with this duelist heavy comp.
Yeah, I do agree on that end. And then you can also just go ahead and mention the fact that on their side of the Phantom Thieves, you have a lot of power, especially in Cinder and Toshiro. Toshiro is the second best player in the entirety of the VRS in First Bloods and the third in ACS. He has almost 290 ACS across the entire group stage. So the carry potential is there. The flexibility is there. And they also plant a lot, which can put them in situations where they can just utilize their chemistry much better than the bottom frag friends. So I think that they have some chemistry, but their chemistry is just a little bit more, I would say, in the small 1-2s over the macro playstyle.
I would definitely second that notion, and I do think it does speak to Phantom Thieves' performance here in the fact that pretty much every player is in the top percentage of our players in this league in some category, regardless of what it is. And while I don't necessarily believe that having the best of the best makes this team immediately a threat or unbeatable, rip phase CSGO team 2016. Uh, and but I do think that as there's that key word that you said, synergy, chemistry, things of that nature. I do think that will make a team. And if they have this chemistry and synergy, I think that will carry them very far in this group stage and in this match. And on the side of the bot frag friends, I know you said that they didn't necessarily have that same level of notable individual performance, but I still think that ultimately their ability to get here into the group stage speaks to their strengths as a team. And when you talk about this duelist heavy composition, I also think that will work to their play style, because if we look at Capkin, right, he's the third in assists per game, and I mean I do think that is a very important. Oh, sorry, I just got
very important.
Yeah, it's very important. Just got a little message from our backside there. Thank you very much. But I do think that in the end, with this, with their ability to play as a team, play well, play hard, play fast, it's another composition that is absolutely dangerous.
Yeah, I have to agree. And with that, I think we do have our vetoes. So since the veto graphs are kind of glitching out for the VO5, so I'll just let you know straight up. So Phantom Thieves decided to ban the Fracture, and they are the highest seed, so they get the ban first. Then we have Bottrack Friends banning Ascent, Phantom Thieves picking Haven, with actually Bottrack picking Attack in the beginning. So that will be our first map. Then the response from Bottrack Friends was the Bind, and it looks like Phantom Thieves also decided to pick Attack. And then you have this third map, which was the Pearl, which was picked by the Phantom Thieves. Then the last map was the Icebox.
Icebox. All right, so not too bad. Haven, Pearl, and Icebox. Definitely interesting picks here from the Phantom Thieves.
It's
I
Haven, Bind, Pearl, Icebox. Wait, it's Haven, Bind, Pearl, Breeze, Icebox. These are
Oh,
the five.
excuse me. I
No,
forgot.
no.
This is
Okay.
best of 5.
Yep.
Haven, Bind, Pearl, Icebox. I must say, it's pretty interesting to see the Haven pick come out from Phantom Thieves, knowing that they're going to be going into this composition, because it is definitely one of those maps where, and I do want to point out how Botfrag Friends picked Attack first, because on a map like Haven, right, 3 sites, you're going to have to be splitting players up. A well coordinated attack onto a site can be absolutely devastating for 2 people to work off of. And in the event, I think what Bottom Frag Friends is trying to do here is they're trying to get that early lead with their very, as we said, very aggressive, very duelist heavy comp. And if they can get that lead early, I do think that Haven is one of the harder maps to play on as a defender, especially on a retake, because there's not a lot of room to work with. And also because there's that middle site, it does give the attacking team another option. It does force you to continue to split up your player power. However, at the same time, you don't see a lot of movement towards that B site. It's very difficult to hold on the side of an attacker in a post plant. And so then what you ultimately end up having is that you have these pushes towards A, these pushes towards C. And then what that creates is, if you don't react fast enough, you don't communicate well enough, you have these very long rotates that typically can only take you so many directions. And I do think that in the end, I think Bottom Frag Friends here are looking pretty favorable on this map, considering their composition, as well as I think Phantom Thieves really are, as we said, gonna have to pull out that controller and those sentinels. And speaking of picking out and pulling out, we've got the agent pick.
Yep, we can see it's going super quick. Everybody already knows what is gonna happen for them. We're seeing the double duelist here, Phoenix and Yoru. So we have 2 flashes from the duelist. We're talking about Myth just being an absolute Yoru one trick here. Capcan on his signature of the Fade, and then you have Tarquin and ABC just on the, I would say, the filler pieces in the Omen and the Chamber. And on the other side, I can say it's kind of the same. We see Toshiro here on his signature Neon as well. Young Toad on the KO. And I would say they're both very basic comps. So we're going to see the Sky here instead of the second Duelist, which is the Botfrack Friends variation that we see for the most part. And well, just on that facet, I will be very intrigued on what's going to happen next.
Also intrigued as well, as we see that Toshiro is really taking their time here, figuring out what they want to do, getting that ghost out. But in terms of the team compositions, I do think that our friends over at Phantom Thieves made the right decision. They've got the Omen, they've got the Chamber, which I think are 2 very strong agents on this map by virtue of the fact of how much you have to move, you have to reposition. And Chamber, especially, I mean, you've got the A long, you've got the C long, very strong agent, period, but very strong agent on this map as well. As we start getting in here, Toshiro really looking to go somewhere.
Yep,
And
looks like he is looking to go somewhere, but on the opposite end, looks like the Botfrack Friends are ready to go to town in here. The decoy is walking in. It will not be shot, however, so good looking out from the side of the Phantom Thieves, seeing the crosshair is ready for Toshiro. He will get one, but only to be traded out. And that is the power of the Aura here. You can see the very quick rotation from the C-Long to the A-Long area.
yeah, and here's that communication I'm talking about. They know that everybody's there on A, and there's that A, and as we said, there's the rotate that comes out. There's 3 people already on that A site, and you suddenly have the man equalizer or disadvantage here. And we might actually see a flank come in here from the chamber on the side of Phantom Thieves, as they do appear to be backing off.
They
Our bottom frag friends do appear to be backing off here.
how did
And I
how did Mythos teleport in all the way back in spawn, and he didn't use it, which was good because I think that Sosa was ready for something like that, and that is gonna be a very big element of the Oro. As you can see, they are creeping their way up to the C site. Like that fact that you're gonna always be in somebody's head, like, is he TPing? Is that a decoy? Is that the real Yoru? That would be a very big question. But right now, the question is gonna be, can they retake? As we're gonna see, the site is gonna be offered to them on a platter here with only 7 seconds left for the plant.
Yeah, but 7 seconds all you need, but if Phantom Thieves won't be having it, rushing in there. It gets absolutely blinded here, and Young Toad moving in with the 3K even. Not bad, and after that, all of Bot Frag friends will go down. Phantom Thieves take the first round and set themselves up to keep going. Definitely, as I said, excellent communication there. We saw that 3-man rotate come off of the C and the B sites to immediately match Bot Frag Friends' pressure on the A site, and I think that is what sort of ran them down there, because by then, right, they'd spent a lot of time waiting. They had gotten a couple picks, or they'd gotten one pick, but ultimately lost too much, and then once they had made that move onto the C site, they barely had any time to get set up, and everybody at Phantom Thieves thinking, okay, they're not here, they're not B, there's only one place they can go, and there's only so much time they have, and they used the time that they had, and they couldn't make, and the Bot Frag friends could not make anything happen with it. And as we get here into this second round, we'll see actually a force buy,
Yeah, it looks like the aggression is ramping up here. The decoy will tank the flash, will tank the shots here of Toad as he gets absolutely run down. It looks like the force buy is going rather well here, but Sosa absolutely storming here with the Spectre, Cinder, and Toshiro to wrap it up. And just as it heats up, it dies down with a beautiful 3K from Sosa here that will make sure that the bonus will go well, or the anti-eco rather will go well for the side of Phantom Thieves.
Yeah, I don't really know necessarily what Bot Frag friends could have done in that situation. I think they had the right idea. They almost had that plant down, which in this scenario is really all you're looking for. Get a little bit of money. With how aggressive they were playing there, maybe they could have pulled something out of that round, but with pistols, maybe an SMG off the guy who was on the B side, you'd be hard-pressed to defend that site against rifles and the heavy weaponry. But as we roll into this third round, I do think we will have, as I said, heavier weaponry for the side of the bot fight. We're really going to see here if they can make something happen. Trans really trying to do some work there, but not getting anything off. Manages to take no damage.
A lot of damage on the Tarquin though.
Do have to shout out Tarquin for the Elder Flame Vandal. It's best Vandal if you ask me. And speaking of best, Young Toad gets that headshot coming in.
Yep, Young Toad got the first kill, and now we are back in a lull state. It is gonna be the period of guessing, of questioning. It looks like information is trying to be gathered back and forth here. Prowler and Trailblazer will lead the way, but will not amount to much as the A hit looks to be coming in rather basic, rather straightforward. We see the paranoia here, the flashes from both ends, but it looks like it will not dissuade them enough, and there goes Tarquin. What they have briefed in the seaside has been sold here. 30 seconds left. It looks like nowhere to go, nowhere that they can find an opening here on the A side. So now with 20 seconds left, they are left wondering.
Yeah, time's running down. They might be able to get to that B site. Oh my gosh, they're going to run it all the way to C. They're going to have to plant that the second they get there. They're not even going to have time. I can't believe it. Captain's
Sosa.
And Sosa, yep, is going to deny that play just
down,
like that.
C.
And
one enemy remaining.
Mithrid's best ability, he will not be able to secure the round for his team, as he will be the last player standing. And I really am wondering sort of why Bot Frag friends are taking this so slow. I mean, I was discussing this very aggressive, very duelist heavy team comp going in here, but there really are there's not a lot of that forward aggression that I think this composition is built around. I mean, you have a Yor, you have a Phoenix, you have some of the best flashing agents in the game, combined with some of the best engaging agents as well. But despite that, they're playing back. And while I do think that playing for picks is not necessarily a bad idea, the problem is that they're not making things happen. Yes, but as I say that, Captain gets the pick onto Entrance, and they move on to the side.
Okay, the seize is perfect in place. The hero rifle is paying absolute dividends on this force buy, but Toshiro could find something. Clickhead will find one as well, and now it's all down on Toshiro. He's supposed to be the danger man, spraying down with the Bulldog. That burst fire will wrap him one. He's whipping super hard here and has to reload, but thankfully not much connection is being found on the other end. A beautiful shot, but will be instantly traded by Tarquin. And that will be the force buy. The hero Vandal. Wrapping this round up here. At least on the board are the BFF friends.
Last player standing. Spike planted. What?
And I do, I think if bot fight friends can do that a couple more times, I think they're going to set themselves up for that early map win, or not map win, early half win that we're talking about.
Face your fear!
Yeah, okay, missed. He was stuck in a very bad position. Nightfall is there. Cinder will find one, but not before ABC is just going to find him back. And that is the side here with a man advantage for the side of the BFF friends, though in a very dangerous position, especially with the smoke fading. They are very close, and the retake is very imminent. It will be a very dangerous question. Let's see if they are ready for such a fast retake. You can see that the crossfire is in place. They kind of wonder about it. They had an idea. They had a tingling, but that will never be enough. 2 from Capkin and 1 from Myth here to wrap it up. Second on the board for the BFF friends. But the good silver lining is that you still have good enough of an economy if you're on the side of the Phantom Thieves to buy once more.
And buy they will. Rifles and armor around the board, and also 3 ultimates, almost 4 in the event that Cinder does something absolutely crazy. And I do think that BFF friends did burn a few there in that first round, or in that last round. Despite that, I do think that they have some good momentum here, and if they can just keep rolling with it, it will set things up as we see the Rebirth come in here from the side of BFF to make anything happen. His teammate Sosa goes through the smoke and gets the pick as C-Site begins to fall under control of BFF friends.
Yep, the side take is there. Youngto, though, on the trade. This will be the last tick of the 0 point, but Sosa will make sure that it pays them dividends here. Capkin stuck between a rock and a hard place, and not that much for Myth to find here. Has to at least smoke the bomb, try to find a spray through, but Toshiro will just stuck himself there. Get one more kill, and it looks like the retakes are super clean from the side of the Phantom Thieves today.
And indeed, losing only a single round and allowing them to kind of keep that economy going, because as we know, nothing is more painful than winning a round and breaking a loss streak, but then having absolutely no money to buy here. But as we saw, excellent use of utility here, and Toshiro just moving in, smoking off Mithrin here, and giving him absolutely no options here to move out, and bam, takes him out and leads his team to take the lead even further. Maybe finish up here with the buy phase. Still 3 ultimates on the side of Phantom Thieves. Could definitely make something happen here, and I think Toshiro might try and do that. It's an aggressive peek.
He has been trying, for sure.
He has been trying. This is true.
But once again, you can see like they are very okay on the 2 sides to just trade aggressions on either ends, where Toshiro will aggress on A. You can see him walking up the lobby area. Meanwhile, you can see Myth just taking over C long, and now Toshiro is in such a great position, but the flick with Tarquin will make sure he will amount to naught. And that will be the round. We see the Yoru in a beautiful position, manages to find one. Tarquin is there for the aid. The Paranoia will make sure that he is gonna escape to heaven as the Omen shall also arrive.
Planted.
And now the retake is on.
Yeah, I do think that Toshiro was looking for a little more there. Maybe to find another person there at the end of that hallway, but unfortunately,
player
when
standing.
Spidey sense was tingling, and he whips on him.
Trans here
That's like,
is enthralled, and that is the round.
that is the round indeed. And I do want to point out there that Phantom Thieves did use that Sky ultimate there to not much effect. I think they found out where people were, and that did allow them to rotate a little bit faster than they could have come out. However, I do think a very big issue at the moment is the fact that almost every time that Phantom Thieves have rotated to a site that's been taken, it's almost always been in the same spot. I mean, we look on the C site, and we've seen people coming from Garage and CT, and then we go to the A site, and most of the time they're coming from Heaven, or they're coming from again CT as well, but they're not making use of that long in on either site. And as I said before, we haven't seen too much of the B site, so there's not a lot to say there. But I mean, really, what the question becomes is, if Phantom Thieves were to take a little bit more advantage of the rotates onto that A site from long or sewer, do you think that would maybe turn the rounds around for them? As Toshiro almost looks like he's cheating, but that's not true. As they start creeping up here.
He's trying to find something, for sure. He is trying to find something, and now we're going to talk about the more imminent issue at hand here, Baldingo. The weak buy, the Stinger, is super strong right now. And we're going to see Toshiro utilize it to its fullest potential here. That is going to be a gun retrieve. Tarquin will be traded by the Classic, and looks like the weak buy is trading 1-for-1s, which is very good here, especially with the Vandal that now is in the hand of Cinder. The retake is on.
He's got
yep,
the
overdrive is there. And here we go. It's gonna start in, but Capkin is gonna be very clean with it. Not before Cinder is put in a 1v1. ABC will get a 1, 2, and a 3 to wrap it over 4-4. And well, that's the economy of the side of the Phantom Thieves, just being very shaky at the moment. You can barely afford to buy, and then you have the eco the next one, and it's a back and forth in that way for the defense.
Good play for Toshiro here, passing that Vandal off to his teammate, definitely giving them the best chance they could at winning this round. And they almost did. I mean, it was going to be so lit. He gets absolutely clotheslined here. But Cinder comes in with two very beautiful shots that unfortunately cannot outpeak ABC. 1, 2, 3, as you said. Very well said there, by the way, Vault. And we'll cruise into this next round. 4-4, 8 rounds on the 9th, still tied up. And this is what I'm talking about. Well, I mean, both of these teams have something to prove here. Bot Frag Friends, I think you said they didn't make it to the group stage, or they weren't here last split?
They were not here.
They were not here, all right? So this is their first round in a playoffs. They're here to play, they're here to win. While Phantom Thieves
face your fear!
Back at it again, to find that victory that I needed them last round.
Ooh, dope.
Spike down A.
Like, their combination play on the Phantom Thieves is very good, but now it will just have to come all down to the gunplay. Almost all the utility is expended, but here comes another layer. The Neon will be there to at least provide some, like, disruption, and that disruption will be enough to once again take them to the safe side with only 30 seconds left. Sosa, once again, will be the first face
30
in
seconds
the face
left.
of the bot frag. The Paranoia is perfect, but he will not be able to find all that much. Meanwhile, Myth and Tarquin will find 2 here. Cinder once again on the flanks. They are very good in finding these timings, and that will at least mean that the retake will be a 3v3. Looks like, oh, Capkin will get 1. The retake is not slowing down. They're pressing their advantage. They're pressing as hard as they can, and now it's all down to Young Toad and Toshiro. Young Toad spammed through the wall. Toshiro finds 1, but brought down to half. That retake can be doable. It needs a few nice shots, but they're holding a very strong crossfire. The double peak is immaculate. kill it, as Starkman will get his third and get the 5th round for the bot frag friends.
Not a situation where you want to be in if you Toshiro there. Absolutely caught between two people that are definitely not someone you want to be found on the end of here. But not a terrible play. Excellent use of the utility, but unfortunately can't push things out
Last
here.
player
And
standing.
Noto actually does get sprayed through that smoke, so probably should have been a little communication there saying, hey, by the way, I just put this wall up. Don't stand in front of it. You're probably going to get shot. That's exactly what happened. Taps, breaks, double peaks, and just like that, it's literally creeping around 10 here. And bot frag friends take the lead for the first time this game.
Yeah, well, if we're gonna need to see something back from the side of the Phantom Thief, it will need to be more, for sure, from the side of Entrance and Cinder. It looks like Toshiro and
Spike down,
Sosa
C.
are trying to take matters in their own hands. Looking a little frisky here on the equal round. Looks like that Dimensional Rift will be used to get out. Clickhead will do just as the name says. And he will find a 2-piece. And now it is down to the 2v2. They know the myth is kind of low, but it's actually not him. It's Darkwing now that is brought down. And Young Toad is trying to find anything. The rotations are perfect, but Clickhead will be called in transition.
Last
Now it's
player
down to
standing.
mid. Kills this, and well, 4 HP on Toshiro. Have you heard of the miraculous 4 HP clutch?
Oh, I don't hear. I have never heard of
Spike
it. If it's
planted.
in heaven, he might drop down here and splat on the ground. Maybe was looking to potentially sneak by there, but I gotta say, if you're on 4 HP, I think it's 15 damage or maybe 35. I don't remember. It's a lot more than 4, so I wouldn't go out there if I was in Toshiro's position. But Bot Frag friends coming out to play on this attacking side. As I said, very strong composition for this, and they've been doing well in these later rounds. And I think it's definitely has to do with the fact they've got a little bit heavier weaponry. They've got some confidence. They're getting the feel for how Phantom Thieves play, and really they are playing to their strengths here with those fast, aggressive. And as we move into round 11 here now, I think also too, Phantom Thieves have been doing a great job of rotations and not over-rotating, because that does tend to be a pitfall for a lot of teams.
Yeah, I have to agree. Young Toad will be traded out for the running back though. And that is what happened when you use the KO with the right, with the flash right click. It has been heavily nerfed. It's looking very hectic here. Clickhead will get one, but Entrance is going to find his second of the game. Cinder is holding the fourth, but it will be enough, looks like. Once again, they've just decided to go back. It's been a very heavy theme here of just the attempt of doing bait and switch, but it's always been Sosa that is the thorn in their side, and they didn't get him in this round. Looks like they are not going to switch. They are going to just do the feint and go back here. So it will be all down to Cinder.
There's that controller action coming in here. I mean, as we saw Sosa there, keeping those smokes up in sewer in a main really did a number there.
30
for
seconds
that
left.
Frag friends attacking side, not allowing them any information and costing them a lot as they ran in there. However,
One enemy remaining.
Takes out
Spike
Captain,
down
and
A.
might find a second here even. Will actually run, maybe fake the suit.
Hulk out!
No, he's just going to flash for his teammate. But looks like Myth
planted.
is more concerned about the
Last player
monetary
standing.
gains, but he will now be concerned with the clutch as the aggression was too much from Sosa. No flashes in hand, not that much util back and forth. They're gonna walk into each other, and Cinder will be the better of Mithrandir here. And that will be 5-6. A very pivotal round here. You couldn't afford to lose the economy if you want to even out the half.
Well said indeed. As we watch that flash go up, and it's really good. And
Spike
unfortunately
planted.
for Sosa, I mean,
Last
really
player
on it there,
standing.
but just flicked a little bit too far to the left. And Cinder did a good job here playing into this A-long rather than that short. I think Mithrin was going to read that rotate and was getting ready for it. But luckily, Cinder does manage to land that phantom shot. And I'd like to point out that this is one of the reasons why I don't use the phantom, right? I have been picking it up a little bit recently.
You want to
just
play?
sort of
Let's
make
play.
it feel, get things a little changed up. But it's the fact that I once watched a clip during actually
Scout destroyed.
and there was somebody defusing, and they got a headshot from on site, on like next to the box from sewer, and it did not kill them, and they whipped on the guy shooting them. And so really, you know,
Who's
Phantom,
next?
I look at this map, and that's all I think is I think that Phantom damage drop off is too much. Speaking of too much, Sosa's too much for Tarquin as he absolutely clotheslines him. But also,
Spike planted.
Too much of a tangent, and they get onto the site.
Yeah, they get onto the site and they get the man advantage as well. ABC will find one, and now no one will walk away. Indeed, it is the last round, and they're trying to find something. Toshiro is just on a tear, and Trunks and Toad rather, will double up here, and the stun will be perfect to wrap it up. And once again, the team play from the Phantom Thieves is super coordinated, but they will only even out the half with that much. You gotta say, that retake was just very well done. You can see from start to finish, whether it be the ultimate from the KO, the timing to go with it, the flash to try to distract him from the other side, and then just to back it up, great mechanical play from the entire team.
Here's that teamwork that we are praising Phantom
Spike
Thieves
planted.
for. As you said, excellent coordination with good use of the ultimate. That KO ult gives you a lot of pressure from Garage and makes you want to push back. However, at the same time, you've got this Neon and Chamber absolutely ripping their way through CT, getting ready to take you out. And I mean, I think with the amount of players that they had there on site, bot frag friends were somewhat spelled for disaster. Speaking of disaster, it looks like, wow, we're going to get a headlong rush into the garage here. Clickhead maybe trying to volley things off. Throws it a little late though, but it does manage to catch. Oh, he even kills Toshiro here.
Yeah, the second one there as well.
Spike down,
And Clickhead will flick and Clickhead.
Last
And now
player standing.
it is all down to Entrance, who hasn't been having the best of games. He is caught between two mines, but he will get one head of these two before going down. And that will be round number 7. A strong start here for the Buff Rack friends.
Strong half indeed. As we take a look, sort of flipping the script here, we were definitely focusing on the aggression and the power that this composition had on the attacking side. However, I mean, I guess, Vault, what are your thoughts here? I find that it's pretty hard pressed to play a match, even anywhere. I mean, in online and ranked, in the VCT, in whatever. You know, we see Chamber constantly pick. That is the
Scout destroyed.
He's so strong, especially in the right hands, especially in the hands of ABC. He absolutely takes out as the like,
One enemy remaining.
All of Botfrag friends are really making work. Entranced once again, last man standing as the spike.
Yeah, AZ Pick'ems here for the side of the Buff Rags, and that will continue to be the tail. And you gotta give it to them, like they basically figured out the aggression on the last round and caught it before it started. And that is I would say one of the most important skills in that level of play is to know to catch the enemy in transition. In transition, except in the very highest level, will be when a lot of players will be caught off guard. And well, when you do that, when you have the gunfire advantage, when you have the gun power, that'll be all you need. And now, on the bonus, let's see how they will...
Going out.
Botfrag friends. Actually with, or excuse me. That might be, well, our defenders over here do have themselves a half buy.
They are the Buff Rack friends. Yep.
Yes, Botfrag friends, wonderful. Are looking with a half buy here. Pretty interesting. Maybe look at the build to the buffer before they get into these later rounds, because I do think at this rate they are not panicking too hard. They say, okay, we're down 2, but it's not like we're down 2. We're only down 1 man as
Watch your eyes.
excuse me, roll onto the site. Botfrag friends really trying to make anything happen. Good escape there from Sosa. It seems that they will be pushed off the site. But as I was saying earlier, you know, they understand that they have some room to work with, and I do think that they're going to they're trying to prevent that dreadful round win.
Cinder. Look at that position. Once again, they just managed to find the gaps, and that is the difference
that.
between a win and a loss in these rounds. And he will just click head down, and now he is once again in their side. Absolute thorn here. Gonna get a second, and now Spencer is functioning. The third will be his, and Capkin will be walking into an unsuspecting pair of teammates, but Young Toad will get the recovery and the headshot.
Young Toad around the corner, getting ready to execute his adversary there. And here comes that full buy from the side of BFF. And as I was going to mention earlier, I do think that is probably one of the most brutal feelings in this game, is winning a round where it costs you so many lives that by the time you get to the next round and you've lost that round bonus, you can't really buy onto that lead. You know, one person survives, you might have a rifle. In this case, ABC does manage to pick up an op with that laser save, but ultimately it's just going to be really rough.
I can't use that.
The ball frag fences if they want to keep going. As ABC does grab themselves a kill for both rounds.
Yeah, Botback Friends heavily invested into this one, even using the run it back here, and Sosa is ready to pounce on any remainders. He's gonna find Capkin. The trade was a back and forth, and Young Toad in the meanwhile gets two. Clickhead is trying to save the round. Sosa in the flames. Sosa in the way, in the crossfire, and that will be round 9 for the Botback Friends. We're seeing a lot of aggression back and forth, but you gotta give it to the side of the Botback Friends. Their small 1-2 punches have been impeccable today.
Impeccable indeed. I just noticed that they have been leaving ABC there on that C site by themselves, and I think that is actually playing pretty hard at their advantage because it is a chamber, because he has that operator. It's definitely probably one of the strongest sites for him in the game. I mean, if you just throw down a oh, what is it called? What is this little turd called? Rendezvous, excuse me. Trademark. There we go. Thank you.
Speaking of trademarks, it will be Toshiro opening things up.
You want to play?
Now,
Let's play.
we will see a sword is more enabled. Toshiro will make sure nothing gets past him. The spray down is there. He's being sprayed a mid-randier. Will find them. And now, a 4v3, the advantage has already been garnered. And Capkin is spotted. It is all down. I think that this is their round to lose here on the side of the Phantom Thieves. But Mid-Rander is making sure he wreaks as much havoc. He's trying to finish with them. But in France with the 1 and the 2. And that shall be all she wants.
Dude, they're such a brutal ultimate. I mean, it has been nerfed. It did lose its ability to one-shot anywhere, but it's still such a formidable weapon, and I think that just goes to show it in Trance. Picking up a little bit of slack there, almost rolling into his positive KDA area. And Phantom Thieves pick up their second round this half and keep things relatively close here. And while Botfrag Friends, as we can see, have been left in economic shambles after that round. See how well they can do.
Yeah,
they actually,
look at what they're doing.
Yeah, wait, I didn't even realize that. A complete ring around the rosy play from both teams, as they are now going to have to play a retake. Although at this point, I think they're just hunting for ult orbs. They're looking for anything to move out here.
Yeah, I think that they are going to try to isolate the fight. In short, they will be successful in doing so. And now, that gun can be dangerous. Clickhead can be dangerous. Sarquin can be dangerous. And this round is going to be slipping away from
One
the
enemy
side. They will get you back. But finally, it will be ABC to steal the round here. They will defuse. And it looks like Ring Around the Rosie will reign supreme here. And you gotta give it to the side of the Botback Friends. That was just a straight up mechanical outplay. They're gonna just run you down, as you can see on the replay.
Yeah, I mean, this was actually an absolutely insane play from Botbag Friends, taking classics, a stinger, and some utility out, and taking out a fully equipped attacking post plant nonetheless. I mean, they had everything stacked against their favor. A beautiful nightfall there from Capkin, and I mean, just absolutely stunning performance that round, and it puts them 2 ahead. And I think that also that gives them, not to mention, going back to my previous point earlier, they had a lot of people survive that round, so we're not going to be too much shot at cash here. It's pretty through a wall that I'm not entirely sure that you can actually shoot through.
He can.
Oh,
That's much I'm sure. But look at it, they're skating up B. Once again, the Phantom Thieves are being super explosive. But now, they'll need to be 30 with their hold, and that much they are. Toshiro will find the running back. Cinder will find one as well. And now it looks like that the Phantom Thieves is getting things in their range, but it's all down to Clickhead and Myth. They are the 2 troublemakers. The Bad Boys, the double duelists, and they are gonna find one. It's a 2v2. Young Toad is gonna have a beautiful timing here if they are not aware.
One enemy remaining.
Coming in.
Last
It's
player
the 1-for-1.
standing.
Myth is not expecting it. Myth is not ready, and it will be round number 9 for the Phantom Thieves.
Very interesting point to stick there. I know pros don't fake, but this is definitely not pros. And I mean, I guess he could have probably put that to half and then moved out, but I'm very curious to know what Mithrandir's thought process was there. Because maybe it was a miscommunication. They didn't know that Young Toad was alive, but definitely a bold move to start diffusing out in the open when you don't know where that last player is. And as we move here into a timeout, activated by the bot frag friends, I mean, they are definitely not looking bad. I think that ultimately they have played well to their strengths here in this match, and that as they've been attacking as well, they've had great map mobility. And I say again, that last round was an absolutely stunning use.
What? How is he stuck there?
What do you mean, how is he stuck there? There's teddy bears everywhere.
Yeah, but who stuck them there?
I don't know.
Why there? Like, why not somewhere nice where like the teddy can like have a good day, maybe have a tea or something, like the ones that we have on Breeze.
I'm fairly certain
just, like,
that on I'm pretty sure that on Bind there's a teddy bear just stuck underground.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another.
Yeah, I like that one. You see that one? They're just chilling, having a good day.
Yeah, having a good day. Unlike the defenders on the A side, who appeared to be getting ready to take an attack in full force, click heads, hogging that wall.
We'll have a tour de force though.
Tour de force, yes, he is out. Got the rifle. He's
Hi,
gonna peek
I'm
out.
pissed.
If anything will happen. And he's dead. And
there we go. Toshiro overdrive is active. They're just waiting for it to run in. The judge. You are a judge. Yeah, it's okay. You are a judge. You're gonna see. Just the good all around here happening. The decoy will be there to at least stall them for a little bit, but it will not be that successful. Mid though will just take the head off Young Toad there. Flash is good, but they thought that even better. Sosa will find one. The crossfire is there. The paranoia is perfect. It will allow Mithrandir to go down. And Sosa Cinder will just disable them. Now is 1v1. Capkin, you have the smoke. There's a Prowler. You know where he is. You're dropping and you're not accurate. And that will be the 4K for Sosa. The crossfire just being perfect for the attacking side.
bold move there from Captain to immediately drop out of heaven after spotting Sosa out with that Prowler. It's definitely not the best piece of utility in the sense that, yes, it can tell you where someone is. Yes, if it hits somebody, that's absolutely brutal. But without that fear trail to really accelerate it and almost guarantee the connection, it tends to just sort of be target practice. And so I think in the event there that Captain spots out Sosa, you know, they've really got to move a lot faster if they're going to make anything happen with that Prowler. And not to mention, I mean, I've made my point clear. Jumping out of heaven, never the play, but you know it is the play. Running onto the seaside.
Yeah, you know what also is the play? Maybe it will be another one of these very dangerous force buys that we have seen in the contract friends here, but so far it's looking very good. For the side of the Phantom Thieves, they are ready. They have the crossfire here in the C-long area. They made it split, but they are spotted. They will not be able to convert though. At least Sosa will be good for 2. Clickhead, ABC, and Myth will all get a frag. Now, it's looking very dangerous for the attackers. Sosa will find one. but you will be judged ABC again with a triple kill, and that will be round 11 for the Bot
Thrifty.
Frag friends. A much needed round, a Thrifty, and the momentum will swing in their favor.
Cinder has been absolutely killing it on these corners. I mean, look at that. Gets spotted out, but still manages to find themselves a kill before they go down. Or actually, no, that was Sosa.
That was Sosa with a double.
There. But nonetheless, I mean, that is a psychological warfare in its purest sense, especially when you start switching things up. You know, maybe you sit in the corner for 5 rounds and they think, all right,
All set up.
they're gonna be in this corner. They've got to, and then they start checking that corner. But psych, you're actually on top of that middle box. Small things like that definitely push the momentum and push the mentality of players in games like this.
Yep. The force buy, the other force buy is trying to cause havoc. But one will be brought down, and Young Toad down to 1 HP. That, yes, that is a single digit, the lowest number possible, just the 1. And now Yoro has their number. The rotation is rapid, it is immense, and we'll even see the Omen teleporting. They will probably try to get a few bodies down with them. Yeah, Seekers out. That hunt being found is only Sosa, and everyone else will fall.
Bot frag friends
Match
with
point.
Speedy rotate and even speedier round ends. I think it was in less than 2 seconds. 4 players before Phantom Thieves fell. And Bot frag friends find themselves on map point with a substantial economic lead, as well as equal ultimates here as well. Captain does have that Nightfall ready to maybe slow down a push or help with a retake. And Phantom Thieves do have a tour de force, but that's also going to cost costing their ultimate, or excuse me, their weapon. As they're going to stream onto B side. They know they got to make
aggro.
Spike down B.
Okay, looks like the defense is set up pretty well. We're even going to see the Nightfall to dissuade them, and now people are being stuck, and Brad will get that 1. He will even get a second on the Tarquin here, making sure that the Phoenix cannot regress, but they are holding the spike down for their life. Mid with the pincer, with the backstab, will make sure
defenders
there will be no more, and Capkin will just wrap it up, and that's 13-10, map 1 to the bot frags.
And just like that, I mean, we said it was people were going to be fighting tooth and nail in this series. There you have it, a 10-13 game to start us off here tonight. And very well done from both sides of the teams. But I think Botfrag friends had that excellent performance going into that first half and really did damage there, as well as I think they had some very strong rotational power for a map like Haven, which I discussed earlier is so crucial if you want to find victory on this map, and victory they did find as well. And I think we also saw some very strong individual plays there from the players. Toshiro had a very good first half, maybe not as strong as second half, but still definitely showed up to play. And I think a very big player there as well was Sosa, that found a lot of work there in both halves, and especially I think in that last round there where we saw Capkin take the freedom dive out the heaven window, managed to find a 4K, and there's definitely more where that came from. And Vault, what were your takeaways here from this first Clash of the Titans?
I mean, for me, I think that the biggest factor in this game that we've seen, that could be a trend, especially with the double duelist, is we see a lot of first bloods for the side of the bot frag friends. And that 4v5 conversion is usually the most difficult part of Valorant, playing a man down, because then the other team can slow things down and can try to string you a bit too short in some places and exploit that. And we've seen the bot frag friends try to do that. It is a bit rudimentary though, but at least that they have the idea down and they have the ability to execute based on that idea down. But we'll just need to see for the rest of our BO5, will they be capable of maintaining and replicating that success? We'll just have to wait and see. And until then, we'll take a brief break, and then we'll be back with map 2 of the BO5. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. An exciting map 1 to kick us off. Once again, Volt, Baldingo. So let's just wrap up a bit about map 1 and what happened here, Baldingo. So we've seen a very good play, and BFF actually taking Phantom Thieves map away from them here, the Haven. So what do you think went wrong in that map for the side of the Phantom Thieves?
Well, I certainly think that the map pick to begin with, assuming that they had any intel on this team going into the map or into the match, was a little bit sketchy. Knowing that you have this team that's very mobile and very damage and aggression heavy, playing on a map like Haven, as we mentioned, where you're almost never going to have the player advantage. Very brutal map indeed for that. But I think for what it was, they did manage to pull things back and keep it fairly tight throughout the duration of the match. And I think that they had some pretty good momentum in that first half. I mean, they won the first 3 rounds and they stumbled a little bit, and then they picked up one more, and then Bot Frag Friends found themselves and they started walking away with it. And I think a lot of this does have to do with the fact too that they began losing those early picks, where I found that in the beginning of that match, Botfrag Friends definitely were playing probably a little slower than I think they should have. And they were getting picked off one by one. And suddenly you lose that absolutely massive advantage you have going into a site where you can sort of freely trade people out and still end up being in the ad when you're in your post plant. But I think once Botfrag Friends figured out really what was happening and the fact that they weren't playing with as much gusto as they should have, they started playing. They came and they played and they ran away with it. And then moving into the second half, I think too as well. I think Phantom Thieves uh did do their best. They had some very good attacking sides, but I ultimately think that the movement of bot frag friends around the map was very strong, and there were a lot of strong individual plays there as well. I think Phantom Thieves played very well on this map, but I think bottom frag friends just had those moments, those key moments of critical action and of the overall sort of movement and strategy, I think just eked out over them.
Yeah, I mean, for me at least, you're talking about the early leads that the side of the Watchback friends were fighting. I think that the main point here, the focal point, is in the attacking half that they started on, they were really pressuring the Phantom Thieves chamber, which was entranced, if I'm not mistaken. It was entranced.
Yes, it was.
And he had a bit of a rough game earlier on because he wasn't capable of adapting to that aggression, that pressure, the constant bait and switch between the A and the C area that we've seen the two teams actually utilize a lot. So I think that this was a factor that ultimately stunted the defending half for the side of the Phantom Thieves more than anything. But maybe we can see the change of that. It is now the Bind, which is known to be the Euro's playground. It is the map that PRX popularized Euro on. And it is the map that Euro can actually wreak a lot of havoc. So the double duelist will come up huge. It's only going to be up to what is going to supplement that Yoru. Are we going to still see the Brim Viper? Are we going to see the Sage or not? And it'll be up to these things that might happen or might not happen on either side. So what do you think? Do you think that maybe we'll see a Sage, or will it just be the standard, let's bring a Fade, let's bring a Brim, let's bring a Viper?
I think as it stands, Bind, both from personal experience and I think mathematically speaking, is one of Fade's stronger maps. I mean, she has so many lineups now that with her Haunt, with her Seas, that make attacking and defending a kind of a cakewalk for her. And not to mention that those teleporters, especially the one leading from A site to, or no, excuse me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
For leading, is B site where showers is?
The A side is where the
Okay.
shower.
The teleporter leading from A site to hookah. If the attackers are not careful, a defending Fade can throw a seize or a prowler or anything through that teleporter, and it is game over for you if you're in hookah. And I mean, that's just one example of how many angles and exploits this. Well, I say exploits in the sense of very powerful situations that this agent can be on this map. So I do think we'll see a fade. And I also think that we will see at least one more controller than we did last game. The Omen was very strong, but I think the big thing about Omen is his flexibility, something that's very key on a map like Haven, where there's a lot of situations that you have to be ready for, where agents like Viper and Sage can't really adapt to that because, or I guess not necessarily Sage. Brimstone, maybe. We definitely could have seen a Brimstone last match. But I think on this map, when we look at what we have here, I think we probably will see a Sage. We may or may not see a Viper. I think it really does depend on how these teams are feeling. But I do think we will see a little step back from those initiator duelist heavy compositions, and we'll get another controller, another sentinel as we roll in here right into the agent pick. And there it is. We've got an Astra and a Viper from the side of Bot Frag Friends.
I'm actually surprised about the Astra, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
the Astra is
for me personally, because that is like my perspective and my view of the game. I think that while the Astra has a lot of util value, I think that she is very powerful in that sense. I think especially here on Bind, where you have a lot of clumped areas, a lot of areas where you want fast smokes, you want quick executes. I think that this is where the Brim shines, and you're basically trading that away for the util value of the Astra because you don't have an initiator in that sense. So it is going to be that trade. Do you value the KO and the suppression and the molly that he has and the ultimate and the flashes? Or do you just value having the Yoru? For me, I think that it's more balanced on the side of the Phantom Thieves. But there sure is a lot of potential for the side of the Bot Frag Friends. But it is very hard to untap. I'll say the skill floor with executing their comp is a bit harder.
Skill floor is certainly higher here. And I think I'll be interested to see how Bot Frag Friends plays this. Looking at compositions from both teams, the amount of smokes and flashes, simply the amount of smokes here is ridiculous. I mean, 4 controllers, Brimstone, 2 Vipers, and an Astra. They're definitely going to have to play things a little bit slower. However, you also have the Yoru and the Raze, which I think are 2 agents that, if they want to, they could theoretically play through the smoke, in that they can kind of rush through and play a little bit to their advantage, but it's certainly a risky play. And Toshiro off the Neon onto the Raze, throws the nade.
Wait, that's a lot of damage already. Toshiro
Spike
is
down
gonna find
A.
2 and a second nade.
One enemy
this
remaining.
Round has spun out of nowhere. They're spinning out here on the side of the Bot Frags, but ABC is gonna be good for one. Very low, but he has baited the rotations. And now he might be able to actually beat the trademark and go find a plan. But I don't think he will find that much. We already talked about a miraculous 4 HP clutch. I think this one is even a taller of a tail.
Oh, until that nade goes into Hookah. That's going to find a lot of damage, maybe, and it doesn't find anything. How disappointing. But I am curious, because I know that we saw this, or at least I saw this not too long ago in another tournament where we saw a lot of Raze fade combos. And what does that necessarily mean? It's the combination of C's and the paint bomb. Because what comes out of that is that in the event that you were hit by a C, so you're instantly decayed, I think depending how far you are from the radius, or from the center of it, you are instantly decayed. And I don't know about you, but the Raze nade already does so much damage, and if you're at 1 HP, well, you might as well kiss everything goodbye. And I want to say that's what happened there. Oh, wait, no.
No, they actually just walked into a boombot. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
No, because he had the boombot there towards the end of the round. No, that was just a very... Oh, you know what? They walked...
Oh, no, I'm talking about Toshiro. The Toshiro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think Toshiro caught him off the Viper wall, and that also decays you very quickly.
Yep, it is very much the combo here, and the combo has come out from Mithrandir here. Shorty, TP, Flash, Get Control, and Bailout as well. A very beautiful find and a very respectful retreat from the side of the Bot Frag there. Retrieving a Bulldog, no less, here.
very good use of the agent's mobility there. Manages to find that pick and with the shorty nonetheless.
Ooh, the timing.
Yeah, looks away. It's all right
Spike
though.
down,
So
B.
manages to trade back and then also get the
Wait,
spike
that's a
down.
spike!
Spike here.
Yeah, no, volleyed it
what?
off, and so, but we're not seeing a rotate. I guess it doesn't matter though because
just finding value left, right, and
here.
center.
One enemy
It's all up to
remaining.
him for the
Three.
side.
Last player
He's
standing.
been good, but he will not be good enough to wrap it up. It is Cinder. Now, his options are narrowed. He knows he's not spawned. So
30
at
seconds
least
left.
he has an idea, I
Spike
think,
planted.
where he might be. Will we see his jump spot? Will we see a peek? He will hear the footsteps. He will not be spotted by the knife. And now it is just a game of cat and mouse, trying to find each other, playing for any audio cue, anything to find. Praying on the least bit of info. The spray will not be good from Capkin. It will be better from Cinder. And round 2 will be sealed, but at a very big cost here for the side of the Phantom.
Cinder manages to get his knees blown out. Won't be taking any adventures around Skyrim soon. Might relegate himself to be a white run guard, but nonetheless, he does manage to clutch things out for his team there at the end. Phantom Thieves go into the 3rd round with not a lot of cash to their name, and I think they will end up having to play for the 4th round after forcing that last round. As we look on the side of Bot Frag friends, full rifles, 4 armor. This could get very ugly very quickly for Phantom Thieves here.
Yeah, everything can go awry. It's a very light buy. They're trying to find anything here on the side of the Phantom Thieves, but not really that much to be found. Sosa is stuck. Talking about the Seas combo. Well, that's another one. Sosa is just that Christ. No way you're gonna find something. No way is he actually gonna find the kill. And
Last player
Tarquin
standing.
will just get 4. Absolutely. Like bulldozing in the 8 to wrap it up for the Astro.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, some historic war where one side was extremely ahead in terms of technology. I mean, they run in there, full util,
I got enough
full
time
armor,
to go into
full
the
rifle.
Astro Form.
Not a lot you can do with pistols there. Sosa had a pretty rough day there after getting Astra seized and then Fade seized and ultimately just had a rough time with it. And Tarquin again coming in with that beautiful ace, managing to pull things out for his team. And Botfrag friends do pick up their 1st round, but now they're gonna have to go against the full might of Phantom Thieves. Controllers and
Taking that
all
back.
with rifles. Things lead.
Get
There
it.
is a push towards the A side, but I don't necessarily know if they're going to commit here. Not a lot of options. They are smoking themselves out pretty heavily, actually.
No, leaving the Rays on the flank, out of all things, I would say is super weird. That's not conventional at all. And Bond, usually you see the Rays just comboing up with one of the initiators, trying to find a very quick and explosive space. This time it is the Yoru. He will find an opening, but it will not amount to much as they are forced to retreat by the Yoru. Tarquin will find another one. ABC will double up, and now the aggression too much from Tarquin. Probably too much of a hot hand, too much of a hothead, and too sassy to be taken down by Cinder here. Will be the Yoru.
Yeah, definitely a more...
30 seconds left.
ABC flying in there and Trans unable to flip to it, gets absolutely mowed down. As we now find ourselves in a post plant. Phantom Thieves with only 2 players have to play with the disadvantage. The suppression night out finds no one. Does have that ultimate ready. Could make something happen, but should watch out for ABC, who does have the showstopper ready.
I think they're trying to find the pick before they start anything out here. They need to find the pick to commit the ultimate, and they will not. Capkin is gonna make sure the young Toad has nowhere to go, nowhere to be. Spotted and walk into the crossfire, but he will be able to break it down. So at least that's the econ value gain for young Toad, but that will be the doubling up for the side of the bot frags in 2-2, we're back at stage 0.
Honestly, after losing Cinder there to the Viper or excuse me, Fade up in Hookah, I do think that was the best decision there for Young Toad. Definitely could have gone bad there, peeking 2 people at once. But a little bit of a blunder there from bot frag friends. But I believe that ultimately getting that rifle out and getting some econ back out of that round was the right play. And hopefully,
I like that Viper one. I really like the Viper one. It goes from lamps, it goes from lamps, and then it flies into Hookah and Belong, and it covers the axis perfectly, unlike the teleporter one, which only covers the long side and Hookah. It actually is pretty fat inside of it. But speaking of going deep, Toshiro right now is having a lot of stuff thrown at him. He will be able to hold the fort here. Looks like the control is being gained by the attacking side, but the utilization of that lead is the question. We're walking into it right now. Clickhead just aggressing on the controllers here. Tarquin and Clickhead are absolutely playing the duelist role, and they will amount to a total of 3 with 1 from Midrander. Now it's a 2v5 retake. Sosa and Entrance with a Frenzy and Classic in their hands.
Yeah, I think this is definitely starting to show if this is bot frag friends map.
Last player standing. Flawless.
Absolutely mowing them down. I mean, look at that. Almost perfectly flawless round, taking only probably collectively about 100-something damage in the whole team. But look at that. 5 ultimates ready for the bot frag friends.
I should play some Astral Stars in this reality.
We're only in round 6 right now. Those ultimates could come out now, and they will definitely be up by the time this half ends. So we're going to see probably a very explosive round from the side of bot frag friends coming up here in a second. And during this timeout, maybe we'll find a few more teddy bears. One of them that you were talking about.
Well, we're gonna find a motorcycle.
Or a motorcycle.
Had that accident. Wait. What? Why? It's like, why?
Oh, you know what? Because new agent trailer dropped.
Yeah, that's Harbor. Yep, that is Harbor. That is Harbor, ladies and gents. But yeah, let's go back to the game for a second. Talking about 5 ultimates on the attacking side of the bot frags, 3 on the defense, and one of them of the last 2 only has 1 point remaining in Toshiro. So we could be in a situation where we'd have 10 ults at one point. We can see a lot of ult utilization in this round, but there is at least some sort of response from defense. So I don't think that they will be helpless. They will not be suffocated as badly as you would think with the 5 ultimate combo, though.
No, and I think that despite my best wishes, bot frag friends will probably trickle these ultimates out. But the variety they have is definitely something that plays to their favor.
I have them.
I mean, they've
got welcome to my world.
Who knows? We could try to find something, but so far it looks like the side of the Phantom Thieves are just fully buying into it more than anything. And well, that can be their bane if that is gonna persist.
Yeah, there's that KO ult. I'll remember the name later.
Null Command.
Null Command, there we go. I knew it was Null something. Null Command does.
It is actually pretty hard to remember his name because it had to be segmented as if we're talking in partitions or something. Dimensional
You are
Rift
divided!
is out. The Cosmic Wall as well. And now we're gonna see the full-on aggression on the B side nonetheless. We're just trying to find space, but Toshiro will find one instantly traded on the other side. Cinder will make sure Flickhead is for not Sosa. This could be dangerous, but the insta flick absolutely filthy from Captain here to secure the plant and maintain the retake here. 3v3. We're slowing down. The retake is in. The flash will be their go sign. Not fully done though. Their sign. Nightfall will make sure that the crossfire is green. And now it's all down to Cinder. Single flash in hand. Toss it away. And now he has nothing. Just 150 HP and a Phantom.
And a Phantom with only 42 bullets left, mind you, give or take a bullet. I find another one?
Nope.
No time. Time ticks down, and with an absolute dominant fashion, Bot Frag Friends will take that round. Actually burns all 5 ultimates. Wow.
Guess you're happy now.
Yeah, I guess I am happy. My wishes came true. Definitely probably not as explosive as I want it to be, but certainly not a bad use of their cards in their hand. And I do think that Click Heads there probably could have lightened the load there on the post plant a little bit had they played with a little bit more patience. I think they did manage to get themselves picked off there by Cinder when they came out of the smoke of the Right Fuse pit. After that, I mean, Phantom Thieves now I think really have to win rounds now, or they won't be able to win any at all. If you can't win with 2 ultimates up, like they do that they have. I mean, like I said,
the duel in showers could be everything. Tarquin will get it. That could have been the duel to unlock a tour de force and an extra gun. But it will all be for naught. The attack is will be successful. Tarquin and Clickhead has been having an absolute banger of the game so far. It looks like the attack will just make sure that these fingers stay out of hand reach. That is the most important part for them. But now it will all be down to young Toad and Toshiro. He will go down. Toad not spotted. He's ready to proceed. But Capkin once again with another beautiful flick. He will take a headshot of him, but he will stay alive. It's only a 2 against the entirety of a 5-man full bot squad.
It's crazy what Tungsten will do as Phantom Thieves now in that post plant with not a lot of weapons range to their name are probably looking for some picks. They do manage to find not 1 but even 2. There's
still the 2 low players.
Take them out, yes. 2 low players.
It is looking very doable here. If they manage to find 1 more, and if this could build disaster, it is all to Cinder. Knife! What are you doing? Why are you walking with a knife in hand? It's absolute misery here. That round was in their grasp, but it has been stolen away by a backstab.
Yeah, probably not looking for the backstab, maybe just to get a little extra movement there. There are some scenarios where, yes, you probably shouldn't take your gun out, but you never, or probably shouldn't take your knife out, but you never know. That may spell the difference in the end. We won't get to know. As Phantom Thieves start stacking these ults up, I don't think they actually used any last round, and so we might see a 3 or 5. Oh, nope, there we go.
Bring them down.
Phantom Thieves.
Yeah, they're trying to find something, but well, you gotta give it to the side of the bot pack friends. They know how to make their aggression explosive. Even though the combinations they use, I wouldn't like say optimal, but well, it is not optimal as well to push that deep here, Cinder, and you will pay your life for it 1-for-1. It's definitely outplay advantageous for the attackers here.
No one there to trade Cinder out, which is unfortunate. However, Bot Frag Friends do manage to trade out. I believe
that's another ult.
Yep, there we go.
You want to find it?
Transfer
yes, there we go.
Falling back, yep, falling back, playing it safe.
Trap destroyed.
He has to find something. He has to hit a shot, but once again, a very slow start here for the Sentinel of the Phantom Thieves. It looks like Toshiro is willing to take matters in his own hand. You can see the backing off of ABC. He's just gonna try to walk in, but well, he will break a leg. And now it will all be down to this kill here. Sosa manages to find him early. It is over, and it will be finally a 3rd on the board for the Phantom Thieves, but not without a bit of struggle, not without a bit of drama.
Sorry to spoil the party.
So they're realizing that there may have been a little bit of an over-rotation there, and indeed there was. ABC moved on to that site, got the plant down. So that is an ult point in cost for the rest of the other team. But I mean, honestly, I don't necessarily agree with the bot frag friends splitting up there. I mean, in a situation where you're already at a man disadvantage. You don't want to further aggravate that disadvantage by splitting up like that. And I do think they paid for that, but they did manage to get that spike down, and maybe that will play out later on in the game. Phantom Thieves 3, Bot Friends 5. And I mean, I say again, Vault, this is their map pick. This is the Bot Frag Friends map pick, and they're showing it. They have been moving
Refund my
out of
trap.
hell this game, and only losing their first round in a bit just then.
Yeah, and you know, you gotta give it to them. Like, while I don't think that, for example, going out to the Neon and Fade, sorry, Nastra and Fade next to each other is the best combination. Gotta give it to them. They have been making it work. And if it works for you, then I guess it works. And now, the decoy, the flashbang is there, but Mitty, you'll be able to at least find something in Trance. Finally on the board, good for 2, and a very important one at that. Will shut down any offense towards the A site. And now ABC on the other end, just trying to find anything here. Not that much to find though.
From Entrance there.
Grenade!
That there might be some
See ya.
Sosa.
Volley.
30
Bot Frag
seconds
Friends,
left.
After a very impressive couple rounds, seem to have lost their footing a little bit.
Last player standing.
Yep, Sosa will be good for 1. Toad combining for the seconds, and there looks like they're getting their footing back in the game. And that is the important factor here for you on the defensive side. You cannot let the other team get that much of a read on you.
And I think Phantom Thieves here are now starting to play a little bit more cautiously. They have been recently, I mean, we saw Sinner that in those couple rounds ago, flash past that Viper wall, got himself a pick, but didn't manage to find anything else. And ultimately, I mean, I think that Bot Frag especially, I mean, I might be eating my own words here, but after blowing all 5 ults, doesn't have any pressure really. I mean, with the way they're playing too, especially with these controllers, it's no longer in that first blood fashion that we saw in Haven, where you find the first blood, and you start winning your fights.
Controllers entering, man. What is this? Is this your comp game? Looks like your average comp game experience. Looks like the other controller is just gonna frisk his way to safety here. Beautiful by Toad, and Toshiro will get a second, and the nade gets him in third as well. And now it's only down to Capkin teleporting. He will walk into Entrance, but Entrance will not land the shot in time. And now you are Pincer to heal the teleport. You're gonna try to find something. A beautiful shot onto Toshiro. But that could probably be all she wrote. 3-way crossfire. You can see the X-rays. Nowhere to go. Somebody would have got him either way, but this time it will be Entrance. We are evening it out. 5-5, and once again, the first half between the two teams is looking neck and neck.
Rough spot there for Cap. He probably would not have pushed up too far in the event there, because then you do end up exposing yourself to that crossfire. It does know that someone's on his flank, but nonetheless, as much as they could have out of that situation. As we get closer and closer to the half here, we're now at 5-5. Phantom Thieves have managed to pull back a 3-round deficit and tie things up after losing 5 rounds in a row to the map pick. Suddenly, Bot Frag Friends, like I said, losing their footing a little bit. Yeah, seem to get themselves back in the lead. Or I shouldn't say get themselves back in the lead, but make that lead as big as it was earlier. And now,
Wait, not again. Not again. If they actually win another Thrifty with Fingers, I'll be very angry. Toad is gonna be cut out of the
Spike down
Sosa
A.
Toshiro
1 enemy
will
remaining.
find 4. Sosa with the 3K to wrap it up. That was almost disastrous, but well,
Last
Toshiro
round
and
in the
Sosa
half.
once again to the rescue.
Not bad indeed. Look here at that 6-5 going into the final round of the half. And look at that. Our friends at Bot Frag, the Bot Frag friends, have 4 ultimates ready. And they're all
For the
gonna come
last
out
round,
this
yeah.
Indeed, at the last round. And if we look at Phantom Thieves, I mean, they've or is it? Wait, is it Phantom
Who's
Thieves?
next?
Teams? Have I been saying that wrong, or is it Phantom Thieves?
It's Phantom Thieves. Is the Phantom.
Okay, I guess I...
Okay, looks like the ultimates are primed and ready. They are waiting for the go sign. No one will walk away, but Myth will get Cinder in the elbow position, just wreaking havoc on the other end. Meanwhile, the Nightfall is being utilized, but
One
there will be
enemy
no
remaining.
kills. Toshiro will
Spike
find
down
one,
A.
and everyone has been found aside from the backup to Myth on the B area. He's now having to walk back here. ABC, 25 HP, just a single shot, just a bit of the snake bite, and now they hear the jump, so they know he's there. Toshiro swing again and miss, and that will be a 1v4. Still the impossible, but if he shows me something, he will not show the beautiful shot to wrap it up. And this time around, there will be a winner
Switching
to the half,
sides.
and it will be the Phantom Thieves, albeit by only 2 rounds.
Only 2 rounds, but that was after 5 pretty rough rounds, especially after seeing Bodfrag friends pull out 5 ultimates in 1 round, and then 4 in their second bout of it. However, I gotta say there, if you're Bodfrag friends right now, you're somewhat seething. I mean, that was their round to win. 4 ultimates to their name and full rifles. There was nothing wrong with that round, and they just got picked apart on their attacking side. But now we move over to the defense, which I do want to say they may have slight advantage here. Entranced is there with the chamber, so I think that might give them a slight edge, but ultimately I think the flexibility here from all these agents will spell the edge for Botfrag. We're found in a 3v4 already.
I'll find you.
Yep. 3v4 and 1-for-1 here. Between Toshiro and Myth will take us down to a 3v2. Spike is being planted. The wall bank is
Spike
damned.
planted.
Will
Last
not be
player
good
standing.
enough, and Capkin will be traded. Now it's down to Entrance, and once again, not being up to par. Myth providing the impact, them providing the round. A much needed win
No button.
that can
Save the
even
day.
out the half, but for now it's 7-6.
I'll find you.
Yeah, in some universe there, Entranced hits that collateral and
Time to
everybody
jump.
loses their mind. But unfortunately not here.
Here.
And Botfrag friends on their first defense will grab themselves
Spike
the
planted.
win.
Last player standing.
Score a little bit closer to even, 7-6. See how things go. Be curious to see if they pull out the force. Yes, wait, we might see the force buy here from the Phantom
Where
Thieves.
are
I think
they?
in this scenario, they're looking to secure any lead because you can almost guarantee that the other team will buy into the second round. And I think destroying that economy would be an absolutely devastating blow to the Botfrag friends, and it will allow them to pull ahead. Phantom Thieves to pull ahead as they were coming into this second half.
Yeah, but look at how dangerous the guys are on the defensive side. If you can take down health members, that could spell disaster, but it looks like Tarquin
pulling
is
them
not
in.
having any of it.
One
Pulling
enemy
them
remaining.
in, is taking them down, and maybe he's out for a second. He will have to be content with the 4K. ABC will get the last one. And well, that was looking pretty well until Tarquin showed up and decided, you're not playing tonight. Nuh-uh.
I mean, there it is again, that absolute decimation from the buy advantage. I mean, I think Botfrag friends definitely have, I think, what I would consider a lot cooler heads and a lot more confidence when it comes to
One
what
enemy
we saw
remaining.
there back on the last map. Again, that wonderful eco round where they turned what I think was a
Without a star, I cannot.
where they turned an eco round with nothing but 5-6 into a win. He's going absolutely nowhere.
Wait, I think that was the wrong ability. But hey, they have the idea. They know what's going on, but they'll be able to spot us. They will not be able to stop the plow of the defense, and that is going to be a 3v3. But the retake, look at where the defenders are. They know what's going on. They know what they have left over. Now it's a 2v3. Pretty much a few low
player
HP
standing.
bars.
One
Then
enemy
it's
remaining.
finding one. The spray is gonna be good from Entranced here. 1v1. He and Clickhead, the two bottom frags, and Clickhead will be able to swing and take him out. And now 8-7. I think that finally this will be the bottom frags taking the lead in their own map.
Spike planted.
Yep, And as we watch here on that replay, definitely good plays from both teams. And Trans, he may be the last man standing, but he's certainly not the lone survivor, as we see him once again in that position. I mean, ultimately, the jiggle peeking is interesting, but I think there, had he fallen back, may have been able to find that, but definitely doesn't take the hurting angle. And you know what? You just can't win them sometimes.
Isolate them and kill them.
But maybe he'll be able to win things now. Does have the Quarterfinals ready.
You want to play? Let's play.
Call it in certain corners of the community. That's not true at all, but it's still fun to say. There's that raise. There's that C's nade combo I talk about. I did not find anything. But friends do have their lead that I was talking about, and I think they're looking to secure it now. Playing very slow. Or excuse me, Phantom Thieves playing slow, knowing that this is a very crucial round.
Okay, speaking of playing slow, it looks like they have decided to explode. It will be on ABC here to find something. Satchel 1, but will not be Satchel twice. The Singer runs out of ammo, and Clickhead will take one with him. A second for ABC, but the trace from Entranced and Sosa will make this competitive. It is a
last player standing.
The flank
Spike
is
down
perfect. The look is there from Sosa. He has the read, but not the flick, not the quick hand. And it will be round number 9 for the bot tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to... I think really here, I do have to applaud both teams for being able to find as much momentum as they can with these eco rounds. I mean, that definitely could have been a very good win there for Phantom Thieves. But Bot Frag Friends, I think, just barely ekes things out there, especially with ABC managing to take out Toshiro before he found himself in a bad situation.
Covering it.
We're up for that your play. Oh, but he's suppressed.
Well, there is no backup. There is no one else to back him up. He's stuck there now. Looks like the call is not to spray him. They will just take over that area. Yoru is just madman peeking, and it will not pay off. Entranced will find the kill. There is a good bit of damage traded though. Grab well next to the Goomba will be enough. ABC will get down Toshiro, and Capkin will find one as well. Traded by Cinder, 3v3. But look at it, it's like the defenders are in the weirdest of places. They're still trying to clear the hookah area, but the attack has already sprinted all the way to the ace flight. The truck and the pit will be there. Clickhead will at least find Cinder trying to peek ahead of the Viper ultimate. But now a 2v3 in a Viper's pit is imminent. Sosa will find one. He has to do the second. A 1v2. Toad is in a very predictable position. And Clickhead will get his second to wrap this round. It looks like this was a very valiant attempt, but the read was very good from the defense.
I think Bot Frag Friends there, the thing that they can attest to that round win was definitely the ultimate from Tarkin. I mean, an absolute star player during this particular map. But that Astro Wall, that is, I think, one of the biggest things about the Astro Wall is the fact that it dampens sound, right? The fact that it's a wall that blocks bullets, not too special. I mean, gosh. What is it? Sage has that and it costs her 400 credits. But with the sound dampening, it really does make you wonder, what am I about to watch?
Yeah, well, there you go, a second attempt at the Euro tech. But this time, with Clickhead ulting in, taking a little bit of damage, but that will allow Tarquin to aggress, but not before being found. A trade here from the defense, from the attack rather, and well, that man's in the middle of the site. Fire in the hole. You can see the showstopper is ready to find something. The fuse is rather full. It will have to take a go, and the dimensional rift couldn't have been in any better time. Myth is just relaying information. You can see the pings, you can see the flashes. He just wants his team to go at it. He's just trying to hold for them. Clickhead will find one. The jump will make sure Cinder has no clue what's happening. It is all down to Entranced Toad. The lineup are there. The first one is his. Second one to be thrown. But will it be enough now is the question. Damage is being taken. It is the hop stick, but I think that they might have enough time after the second one fades.
they definitely will. Valiant effort by Young Toad, but unfortunately not enough to pull out the round. And Bot Frag Friends are once again showing us it's their map pick. A very good dimensional rift there from the Yoru. It was probably imperative to them to get that information, and it also helped on that take because he managed to find out the information not only from the people in sight, but the people that weren't there. It's okay, if there's only 2 people in sight, we can fly to hookah. We know that elbow's clear. I mean, this is totally our side to take, and guess what they did? They took it. And they're probably going to keep taking it as we do see a save. Save round 4 Phantom Thieves. Hopefully they'll pull out a miraculous save win. That is
I mean, we've seen Thrifties working from both sides of Myth. They're just going to be able to find the stray here. Spot Cinder as well, I believe. So he knows where the people are. He knows where the numbers are. But he will not be able to find anything here. The wallbang just betrayed him. 2 kills for the attack, but 3 for Myth to even it out. It looks like the Thrifty is being functional and well. Both teams are very dangerous on this eco round. It is down to the very lights out player here. Target to find something. He will find one. He's trying to narrow the options for the second. Is he ready? He is not, and Totoro will wrap up the third. And that is round number 8 for the side of the Phantoms.
You asked and they delivered, Ball. Another 50 round for the teams here in our first round of the playoffs. I mean, it's just, it always is such a wondrous display to see. And not to mention that their ability to maintain composure, and I do also appreciate the fact that we're seeing such aggression come out from them. You know, despite they're taking this eco round and they're really making it. It's okay. This is an eco round. Chances of us winning this by playing slow, running our time down. Our best bet is to really run in there, just like Toshiro did, to absolutely take out ABC. Actually,
wait, what is going on?
And swings, but is a miss as Sosa will take him out, trade him out, and click heads in the showers, getting ready to maybe play the retake.
Spike planted.
A couple kills, a couple wins. Capkin. I mean,
welcome
is
to
there.
my world.
Viper split once again from Soso. So we'll be very anxious to see what's happening. Cinder, though, this time wins the trade out for his team. But Clickhead has the read. He sees the gun barrel. And that is enough to wrap up the first. Now he's tasked with 2 players. 1 snakebite in hand. Yes, that is the vertical snakebite deck, indeed. You can say that this deck is widely used as well in Sova. Cinder is spotted. That could narrow it down to 1. Very low, but he will get his third. And that is round number 9. 1 for all here for the side of the Thieves.
Very strange flip there. And at this rate, yeah. Bot Frag Friends are not looking too good. The econ is light. Don't count them out just yet. We have seen them, even tonight, pull out the most absurd thrifty rounds. And Phantom Thieves have the opportunity to snatch away this map win from them. Or maybe even take it in overtime in the event that things go wrong. But we'll actually see some pretty heavy investments for Bot Frag Friends, really helping to keep things together. And actually a rush down C main or B main. This is not Haven, but it certainly feels like it. History, as a good friend of mine says, history does not repeat, but it often rhymes. And just like that, Phantom Thieves on the A site with Bot Frag Friends high on their tail.
Yeah, Bot Frag though, they are being able to find a few kills here. They have the hero rifle. We've seen that work in Haven as well. We've seen that work, and looks like it is still working. Capkin with the backstab, only a classic, but he knows we're in transit. They could stagger this. He will not though. Clickhead and Toad will trade. Toad will find a second. It is looking harder and harder. DK, Snakebite, in trance,
1 enemy
and now
remaining.
it's the 1v1. He knows he's in heaven, but does he have what it takes to win this duel? He has to swing, but Toad will best him, and that is 10 in the board. Double digits for both teams, and the pull from the Phantom Thieves is there. Maybe we'll see a different kind of rhyming here. Maybe it will actually be the Thieves that will be the ones to play the long game and take it out in the end.
Take them out in the end, and on their opponent's map pick, nonetheless. I'm quite surprised here, and I do think that what's really playing to Phantom Thieves' advantage here is the fact that they are managing to find these earlier picks, and that bot frag friends seem to be spread a little thin even. I mean, it feels like whenever they go onto these sites that they really are taking these one-on-one, two-on-one fights, and they're winning them, and they're putting themselves in the advantageous position to be able to protect their spike in the post plant. And as we crawl closer and closer to the end of this timeout, I do think that if bot frag friends are going to manage to scrap things by here, they're going to have to play maybe a bit farther back, maybe even play
the
play
infamous
harder.
slice shop. Why
There
is
we
it
go,
so
yes.
empty? Why is everything front loaded?
Yes.
Look at the bear.
There's the teddy
Okay,
bear.
maybe it isn't a spice shop after all. Maybe it was a pet shop, but then like it's front at a spice shop in the morning. Because it looks like that it is contraband. Look at them. They are contraband. They have to be contraband in the universe. They have to be.
Yeah,
Look
we
at him.
got
He's holding a knife. He's angry.
This-
Could that be a new knife skin though? That'd be the question.
Don't get in my way.
Speaking of new skins, we'll need to see a new skin out of the defense here to actually rack their match points finally. So far though, not that much to find. Sickhead, he has to walk away from ultimate, but he will get Cinder after standing in that for a while. Beautifully playing around the smoke integrity bar here. Looks like the flank is there, but the flank of the flank is there not before Mithrand, or rather Mithrand here, will take 2. And it's a 2-on-4 for the defense. It is looking closer and closer to their match point. The timeout could have actually stopped the momentum. The blink is great, and it will be 2. And that is match point. And all that fight could
Match
be for
point.
naught. The pressure is on match point.
Yeah, I do want to take another look back there at that absolutely monster fight from Mithrand. Being able to find 2 kills before getting taken out himself, but nonetheless, a huge dent to the Phantom Thieves. And then right here, I mean, Young Toad and Trance didn't have a lot to go off here, lined up for Tarkin, but I think really, in the scenario that you had to push through that Viper's Pit, it would have been better for the Phantom Thieves to just...
You want to play? Let's play.
You have to push through such a tight space that really does not bode well for you, especially in the team where, I mean, they had the Raze. The Raze had to have moved a little faster there if they wanted to play out of that Viper's Pit.
I'm
They
back.
didn't, and it really cost them the round, really. And it seems that...
Myth is playing super aggressive here. He will not be able to find anything though. Like, beautiful response here. Whether to play anti-blast or to be prepared to trade from the side of the Phantom Thieves. And now, you're taking their attention back to the hookah area. You can see
Blocking vision.
Showstopper is in hand. The round is looking very dangerous. Cinder is jumping in. His head is not spotted. And it looks like Clark will fall down. Round 11 is getting close, but not if Captain and Clickhead have something to say about it.
That's kind of a 4-3 moment. As into it.
Last player standing.
It definitely could have had something there. Phantom Thieves put it at 11-12. Bot frag friends at risk of running overtime on their own map, but they do have some cash to put into this round. I definitely would not recommend anything else. You see the Nightfall, he's on Captain. There could be potential for deep pushes and maybe some picks, but I think Mithrand definitely got a little too cocky there and ultimately ended up getting himself killed in that hallway.
flush them
Had
out.
the good swing, but wasn't good enough and did bite the dust.
Yeah, he had the good pincer. That was the whole point. You didn't need to over-aggress in that position. You already had taken so much map control by taking all of the hookah area. But looks like the price will be paid for the over-aggression, probably overzealous. Wrap it up. Gravity well is perfect. Nightfall will solve them, but they need to connect their shots. They need to find something. It looks like Cinder is trying to find the picks as well. And ABC and Myth will actually line up for 2, so it will be a 3-4-3 after all. A teleport will be taken down. Toad, oh no, Click needs to pick up the gun. It looks like Toad will escape.
One
and
enemy
now
remaining.
It's all down to
Spike
mid,
down
finding a
B.
beautiful shot here, leaving in
Last.
trance on his lonesome to
Last
clutch
man
the
That's
map.
the
standing.
spike.
Teammate not to make it a 2-0 for the bot tracks. He's trying, but the spray is not connecting. He
Teleport's
has
ready.
the rendezvous, so that can at least isolate the fight. But looks like he is trying to play ahead of it so far. He cannot see the TP.
And here, I think he did see it go by there, and now.
Oh no,
30
he missed
seconds
sound. He
left.
needed to go to the front. Now you know they're in. Now they know he's down. Now the rotations are being called. And Trash needs to isolate the duel. He needs to find something, but it will all
Defenders
be for naught.
win.
Beautiful combination play here from the defense. 13-11. Another long game. It's another exhausting affair here, but the map 2 will once again be for the bot frag friends.
Indeed. And it was their map pick, so that does bode well for our friends over on that side of the team. And I mean, I said it. I said the same thing last game. I'm gonna say it again. Both of these teams have rounds and have plays where they're playing very well. However, I do think that Bot Frag Friends really, especially on this map too, which I felt they exercised their knowledge and comfortableness with. They are playing with such huge amounts of confidence and swagger that is finding them these insane plays. I mean, Tarquin with 9 kills in 2 different rounds, and not per round. Let me clarify that. And then we see as well as Mithrin with these big flanks, but getting big kills and big picks that are putting his team where they need to be. They did stumble a little bit in the end there. That definitely could have gone a different way, but ultimately entranced, ever the lone survivor, but definitely not the clutch master, found himself in a rough situation, and Bot Frag Friends are put themselves on match points.
Yeah, and you gotta give it actually this map, especially to Tarquin. I think he absolutely stole this map from the side of the Phantom Thieves. He just had an absolute stumper off his showing. Oh wait, Tarquin was on the. Oh my. That was a bit of a doozy. So Tarquin was on the bot track friends. He stole a lot of rounds from the Phantom Thieves, but it was not enough. That was what I'm attempting to say. Well, it looks like one map has been stolen. Words are stolen out of my mouth just because of how intense this game is. And with that, we will just take a slight break and we will be back with map number 3. Please stay tuned. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another steal here by the side of the Botfact friends on the Thieves, no less. Once again, it's another long haul. We've seen a 13-10, now we've seen a 13-11. Especially on their map pick, you can see that the repertoire was there from the Botfact friends. But was it really like a bad showing? I wouldn't say so. I would say that the Phantom Thieves have displayed well. So do you think that they might have a chance back at a sweep? Or is that all she wrote? Is the mental edge gonna gum at them too much here, Baltingo?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the mental because that's definitely something that I've been wondering. You know, we came into this match, Phantom Thieves, runner up
Mhm.
last split. They have something to prove here. They have something to come back and take for themselves that which they believe is theirs. But then you
Mhm.
get into your first game and suddenly it's match point, and while they have been close, you haven't been able to really eke something out, really pull something in.
Mhm.
And I think that if Phantom Thieves in the mental right now, it goes of one of two ways. It goes of this is not like last split. These teams are way, way tougher. This might be it. This might be GG. Or there's the side of we did not work through this group stage and we did not get second place last split
Mhm.
just to get absolutely knocked out in this first round of the playoffs. So I
Mhm.
think really, as the people outside my dorm yell, I do think that Phantom Thieves here, for technical reasons, have to find this map. But I also think for the mental of the team and their ability to keep playing, they have to find the next three maps. Or this could spell it for them. But then nonetheless, I do think that their performance hasn't been bad. I say again, both these teams are playing phenomenally, but bot frag friends are finding those little key moments that are winning them crucial rounds. The flank from Mithra, the plays from Tarkin. I said it over and over again, and I'll keep saying it. These key moments, I think, are really what are separating bot frag friends from the Phantom Thieves. And I think if Phantom Thieves maybe if their players show up a little more in the sense that we see some more individual play, which is not to say that they need to play selfish and unwisely, but I think if they sort of really push themselves and put themselves in position to make these big individual plays, I think that will equalize them and put them on par with bot frag friends.
Yeah, definitely. I think that there is an argument to be said for that. But for me personally, I think that the Thorn in the Phantom Thief side so far has been in trance. He has been providing impact, but it was always at the second half, which is something that we cannot see that much more of now. Like, you need to come up from round one ready with all cylinders, with all gears ready, because this is a do or die moment. If you lose here, there is no loser's bracket. So you get knocked off at the quarters, suddenly you're top 16 instead of a top 2. But on the other hand, this is the Pearl, which is a new map. Like, we haven't really seen that much of it like early on, and not a lot of teams were gravitating towards it. But now we're gonna see it, and it is the pick of the Phantom Thieves. So, like, I'm gonna be more optimistic in what Entrance can provide in this map, especially it is a haven for any op player on the B side.
That's well said, Vault. And not to mention Haven for the op player, but also it's another map where controllers are kind of crucial, especially on the B site. I mean, if you try and attack the B site with only a with no smokes, no controllers, somebody sitting there on B long with an op is gonna have an absolute field day. Doesn't matter if you flash, because I guess one thing that I found interesting as I played Valorant is the fact that flashes don't actually affect your in-game accuracy, unlike other games like Counter-Strike, where it is physically impossible for you to shoot with 100% accuracy. Where in Valorant, and I've seen it so many times, people who are on the timing, who figure out the timing, flashes are suggestions to them because they find these picks, especially with a one-shot weapon like the operator. But also too, that middle area I find is such a coin flip, really, where the attackers can. There's the there's movement at that B. Excuse me, at the B door, maybe the A door. I don't recall.
Yeah, it
I don't
looks
know.
like once again though, Yoru. The one trick is just pushing his Yoru to the limit here. And that is something that will be very interesting. We haven't seen a lot of Yoru here. I've certainly seen a lot of Yoru in Bind. I've seen some in Breeze, some in Haven. But Pearl, that is very uncharted territory, even for me. But Toshiro looks like he's ready for his signature Neon as well. So it will be the battle of the two duelist mains trying to bring out everything that they can. And maybe, just maybe, we'll actually see a double duelist match from the side of the Phantom Thieves.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We do see, yes, as you mentioned, we do have our controller there, Tarkin. Again, going on to the Viper, leaving the Astra behind. And as Phantom
Ooh, it
Thieves
will be.
roll up, yep, there we go. Double duelists, two controllers. Nothing too shabby right now as we move into what might be the third and final map of this match, but Phantom Thieves are not looking to make it so. They're looking to fight. They're looking to get that second place back, and we're gonna see how things play out. But I will mention that the earlier I was talking about that mid site, or not middle site, but mid area. The doors leading into art are certainly not fun to contest against when you don't have that forward aggression here, but I do think that both teams have properly accounted for that. And I guess really at the end here, Vault, we're just gonna, I do think this is gonna come down to Phantom Thieves' mental. They've shown that they can play with the bot frag friends. They've shown how they can pop off and do well individually. And now I really think that they just have to give that extra push to keep themselves in this rival series.
Yeah, it will need to be that much coming out of them here, and no less, because I think anything less will just be them out of it. They really can't afford to bar any expense so far. So that will be very interesting.
With very little resistance
Spike planted.
on the plan, but gets taken out by Tarkin. In the back with a classic nonetheless. Spike is down. On the chamber, but he's on the KO. Doesn't matter.
Last player standing.
Cap King quick head. Make it work. Sosa now left in a 1v3, 1v2 now. As the classic has some utility. Astari is on top of the box. But the Viper orb comes up, might even have a lineup ready. So you're moving in here. Sosa checks the corners, can't get the pick though. Captain, 2 kills to the round, holds his team together, and I believe that is Bot Frag Friends' first round.
That would be it indeed. Well, I'm facing a little bit of a technical issue here. So, Ballingo, I just have to say it's a very strong showing at the start here. So I'll just try to let you segue your way into talking as the done fixing.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, as we saw there's that bot frag friends not ideal, but signature aggression with their double duelist comps that come out here. Tarkin actually opting to buy up a Phantom this round. Kind of a bold move considering it is only round 2. But as we maybe attempt to resolve things here, every player is just running around. I do appreciate that Tarkin played back. He played to the strengths of his agent. Viper, definitely not someone you want to get up and at him with. And another good picks there from Captain early in the round, keeping the Phantom Thieves on their toes. And while Phantom Thieves, I do think could have maybe had something there, they were simply getting outgunned and out-traded there towards the end. And then it, I mean, slow down, speak, apologies. And I mean, I think really in the event that this round keeps going, Phantom Thieves will have to probably look for their third round after seeing what I saw was, bot frag friends having that Phantom on their side. Definitely a strong.
Oh, we're
weapon.
having a bit of a
Definitely
LAN
could
finals
be-
moment here.
Yes, LAN finals indeed.
Yep, champions Istanbul. And speaking of LAN finals, looks like I'll be having a big event here all the way back in Egypt.
Yes, indeed. That
Yep.
should be quite fun and quite the stellar thing. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
look at them, spectators.
Yeah.
BCT.
BCT.
I love these small teddies. They're just the best Easter egg in the game. Like outside of the, I would say like the Asian teasers are probably the best Easter eggs. But it's either between that or the teddies. Like that will take the cake from me.
Honestly, Fade's teaser was pretty lit. Not gonna lie, I think it's kind of hard to beat Fade's. I mean, it's not every day that some random person spills the beans about you to literally everyone you know. And speaking of spill the beans, we might see some blood spill as we'll see another aggressive push onto B from Phantom Thieves. Excuse me, from Bot Frag Friends.
Yeah, Bot Frag are ready to walk in Young Toad with a good snake bite, but it will not separate them enough. He's just being hit. Cinder and Entrance will get 2. Myth will get 2 back, and looks like the
Last player
rifles
standing.
are paying themselves dividends here. But you will need to find something. You will not hear Sosa. Whips a little bit on the crushing Myth. A little bit of a trick here, you know, if I'm being stuck to the gravity well, might as well embrace it. And that much he has done. And that will be round number 2 with 2 Vandals. And they will buy a third. A full buy against the opposite full buy of the Phantom Thieves. Very dangerous here for both sides.
Very dangerous indeed. A shocking level of investment coming out from the Bot Frag Friends, but I do think they are looking to put things away here early.
Hit him when
because
they're
normally
not
when you
looking.
have these third bonus rounds, you have the team who won the bonus round walking in with Spectres, Bloody Stingers, things of that nature. And not really
I'm out of here.
and it doesn't seem that Cinder was well enough to do a target now, but now before Tush
Coming through!
Yep, a lockdown on Toshiro, but his blade was more than full. He even off more than he could chew, and ABC will find that 2v4 here. The rifles being absolutely fatal. Probably out of the playbook here.
Spike
On
planted.
the side, all the Phantom Thieves, and now they need to find something. Toad is just sitting in an off angle, trying to find any aggression. But he will not be afforded
Last
that
player
much.
standing.
He can hear the steps, but these steps will be the demise of Sosa. Now all down to the Viper on his lonesome. And Chamber, you might not take him out on a date, but he will take out the soul from you on round 2.
Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. Before things kick off there, as I was saying, you have these third rounds. The leading team is not equipped to deal with rifles, but with that heavy investment in the second round, they had enough cash rolling into it that they could pull by rifles. And surprisingly, you had a 3-on-3, you had a 5v5 rifle round in round 3, and Bot Frag Friends things out there and made the Phantom Thieves hurt. And I didn't see a lot of weaponry on the side of the Phantom Thieves. Yep, a couple spectators and such. tries to make it.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the way that they are actually playing it up here. Just leaving the Viper on her lonesome and the team will not be good enough. Toshiro
Spike
Sosa
down,
will
B.
get two, but traded right back from ABC. Both of them beautiful back-to-back flicks here. Cinder needs to find
Spike
something,
planted.
but the Sheriff is too much to control sometimes, even from the best.
It's true. We'll see the reload come out, but this is
Last player standing.
Cinder now in a 1v3. Take by Kit, and then gets absolutely rinsed by Target, who has been really on top of it with the utility here. Despite being smoked off themselves, they managed to push through it. And I second that notion, Vault. I mean, it does feel like Young Toad has been on this site by themselves, and it's really been, you know, doing them dirty, especially because we're not seeing a lot of quick rotates coming out from Phantom Thieves. And so, you know, the bot frag friends really are kind of getting rounds put in their lap.
Come on, let's
Yeah, and the
go.
most important part here,
Oh.
actually, like as we're seeing a lot of acceleration, Cinder is taking ground. He will take one and
Spike
Trans will
down
take
A.
the second. It looks like they are threatened now. This is the closest
There.
that we have seen. Beside of the Phantom yet. If Toshiro gets one, that can spell disaster here. But Clickhead will manage to get the fight on flank. And Clickhead once again with a second on Sosa will make this round very doable. 2v2, and we're seeing looks like it will be a good old B take then a retake.
Yeah,
here.
B side is wide open with the slow rotate from Yoshiro and Cinder. They're gonna have to really move because at this rate, Spike's going down. They're gonna have probably about 4
Spike
seconds to
planted.
get there.
Welcome to my world.
Oh, and the Viper's Pit comes up. There's a problem.
Actually don't
Toshiro,
like the way that it was placed, but we can talk about this first round.
we can talk about this post round, and it seems that Toshiro is really just
Gotta go.
looking for any sprays or anything. And it seems that Clickheads might be looking for an ace right now. But as they move in, oh, coming dangerously close actually.
Yeah, Toshiro just taking dips.
One enemy remaining.
And oh, Tarquin is taken down. It will need to be the ace, but Toshiro, what a nasty shot there. Claiming the third and finally topping the plow
Spike's
of the
dead.
bot frag friends.
You're welcome.
An absolute turnaround there, around barely to their name. Toshiro manages to find 2 very crucial kills and his team's first round of this map, of this match point.
One
I have
enemy
to say that
remaining.
move. In that scenario, you know, we talked about earlier, right? I don't use the Phantom a lot, but when I do, I would use it there because I think in the event that Tarquin had that Phantom, they would have been able to keep things under wraps and maybe kill Toshiro a little sooner, or at all. If
You want to
Yeah.
play? Let's play.
and so
I
as
have to agree with that much, but look at that. The judge. And Trans this time actually not having the worst of starts. So
Not the
that
worst of
can
starts.
be that can be a very good sign here, especially now that we have the change of scenery. He's on the KO. He is capable of providing aggression to himself, but he's caught
Oh.
absolutely off guard here, not ready for the peak by Clickhead, and that will be advantage to the attack. And the plow may start once again if they are not ready. Looks like a lot of people are being caught off guard here from the
Blasting them.
defense.
oh, excellent
Spike
concussive
down
Sosa
A.
absolutely annihilating Captain. Clickheads will be screwed outside. Clickheads taking names. Young Toad's taken down, however, has been now in a 2v3 to the favor of the attacking side. Sosa is going to back his teammate up, but it seems as though we will see a rotate from Bot Fright Friends.
ABC, he was trying to cut him off, but the timing was not in his favor. And so he realized.
30
and that
seconds
is the
left.
very good communication play here. If the ABC just said, oh, I didn't cut him off, and then everybody's like, okay, if they're doubling up on the A side, we might as well go B. And now they are stranded all the way, and ABC is holding that angle, a very forward
Spike
angle
planted.
here, with one member being that low on
Toxin
26
screen
HP. I think that they might elect to save, but it looked like that will not be the
One
case.
enemy remaining.
Nice shot from ABC there. Very good call from Young Toad not to use the Viper's Pit on that attack. They definitely were posed to maybe take an assault there from the bot frag friends, but holding on to that I think is going to play out into their that tour de force out, but then spots the bottom of the barrel as ABC swings around and annihilates them. And yeah, definitely a very good round there from the bottom side friends in that they were able to communicate well and rotate as well. And Phantom Thieves, I say again, good holding on to those ultimates. I mean, ultimates in this game really are the press this button and you immediately have an advantage round. Granted, that's not the case all the time, but I do think that is a good philosophy to go by. And here was a situation where I think while it would have given them a good advantage, I mean, Young Toad, had they not gotten picked off there by ABC, probably could have used that Viper's Pit to stroll through a little bit and put that retake closer to their favor. But holding on to it is still a very decent play because it allows them that flexibility later.
Yeah, and Trans, once again, in a world of hurt. Looks like the caster curse is real. I apologize for that, my man. Toshiro, though, in a possession to cause a lot of damage, could be a menace here, but we'll only find one. A good bit of damage in the second, though, but the kills came in thick and fast from both of the duelists, and it looks like it's Young Toad all on his lonesome, just with a classic in hand. What can you do, my man? You can get one, but can you get the other three? It will not be. And well, ABC, the kills for you, and it's 6 for me.
I like the rhymes, Vault. We always love a good rhyme. Now, can you rhyme with orange? That's the question I'll ask you at the break. But with this in mind, I would like to point out Entranced. I mean, you mentioned there the caster first. I'd like to point out that he is on the KO this time, right? He's normally been on the chamber for most of this match, and I think that it actually plays out a little bit better because, as we said, the players he's I guess played definitely how their agent is supposed to be played.
Poor Entranced, man. Poor Entranced. They're absolutely bullying the KO right here. And I mean, like, good on them, to be honest. This is like high level of professionalism to figure out what instinct that you can break. But it just feels bad. But it looks like it feels good here for Toshiro fighting 2 kills and the spike. There are still no rotations, they're still fighting the art area. And actually the spike has been fully abandoned. Trying to fight anything in the art area here, ABC will find one. And now it will be the wraparound for the spike. And attackers and defenders switch places. And Trans needs to find something. With knife in hand, it looks like he will actually fall. But it will not be, and Trans actually gets one. Mid there with Clickhead. Toshiro for a third. And now the backstab is good, and Young Toad will get the second on board for the Phantom Thieves. It's a very well played round here, but it all started from the beautiful double kill from Toshiro.
Another one for Phantom Thieves, keeping themselves not too far behind, but definitely nothing to scoff at as they manage to secure the second round. And they keep their econ in a good spot here. Now we will see if bottom frag friends pull this round out, they're gonna have a lot of they're still gonna have a lot of money to work with, and I think Phantom Thieves are gonna be back at square one. We still have 3 ultimates out. The Viper's Pit, Astral, and the Overdrive for the respective players. And
Entranced, man. Oh, man. I mean, yeah, and Trans, once again, they are so good, though, in pushing that area, especially with the small stints that can allow stuff like the Seize, like the Nade, with the elevation as well. That is a very hard spot to hold in the art area, even after the small changes that we have seen to Pro, where the majority of them has been to ease the play in that part of the map, but now the hard part is holding the B-long area when the entire attack is coming through. You hear Myth, but Myth will take your head first before you have the chance to do anything, and Clickhead, beautiful play behind the smoke. Sosa, another controller, just playing around the smokes, playing around these angles, but it's all down to the 2v4. They're trying to find something,
standing.
But Clickhead will find another one. 3 K4 hits so far in the round. The pincer is absolutely fatal, and Sosa will not have any chance to have any say before he goes down. That is 7-2, and that is the most dominant we've seen anyone be in the series so far.
Here is exactly what I prognosticated. The eco, I wanted to say econ, but I couldn't decide. The eco on the side of Phantom Thieves is struggling. We'll see a couple pistols and a single Phantom for Cinder. We have ultimates, but at this rate, is it really worth using them? Because you can't really capitalize off them too hard, unless you use several of them, which at this rate, they might be looking for a final round explosion, as we've been talking about during this series.
I'm out of here.
They have sort of the ability to get onto a site right now. In theory, you throw down the Astral Wall, cut off the rotates, and then use the Viper Pit to keep on the site, and then maybe Toshiro can
Clickhead has been absolutely on a tear with his entries. Now changing up the position. A new venue in the B area, but Cinder looks to be ready. And that could actually be a blessing in disguise that he failed with that. Cinder now looking, wondering what has gone on. Clickhead has just found the weird angle. The timing has favored both of them, as one of them have a beautiful flank, and the other one is the second piece of the pincer. And ABC and Cinder are trying to find the back and forth captain there. Sosa with the ghost is absolutely clotheslined. And it's all down to a single classic on Toshiro. He knows that the ghost is not good enough, so he is waiting for a better perspective upgrade. But Capkin, once again, beautiful play. Beautiful hold-up play, and that will be all it needed to be for it to be 8-2.
After that save, we get some buys, or actually full buys, for our friends over at Phantom Thieves. And now almost 5 ultimates on the board. It's round 10. It's round 11. You use them now or you use them never. I do think that's really going to be how things play out here. Unfortunately, you can't use them too aggressively unless it is the run it back.
Yeah, run it back, exactly.
Exactly. That A spawn spots out in that episode, but you can't exactly get a pick in the end, and Trent has got this classic outfit.
Fire in the hole!
Showstopper in hand here. Clickhead will actually find entranced that bazooka there. I think that is like a little bit of Quake Overwatch Barrett training to get your rockets there. So yeah, like well played for that, but Toshiro manages to claw back the advantage here for his team. Now it's up to Toad once again in a very hard position. 4 players are walking into him. He needs to find something. The reveal will not spot him as he pulls the wall up. They're not looking to the side. This has been his off angle the entire time. This can be deadly. 1, 2, 3, but it will not be connecting to the third. Myth will find something. Gravity well, not close enough. Now Myth is in an open position. The crossfire is dissected, and the third will be the Thieves.
Go. An excellent patient play and a good retake there. And I mean, I think we all know who the MVP that round was. Young Toad with an excellent use of utility there. Keeps himself from being spawned by the haunt, and also because he's been throwing this wall here the whole time, and he's also been peeking out the front, right? I don't think anyone has ever hit behind that wall once. And I do think, discussing the various mind games with Cinder at the beginning of the Haven map. The hiding in corners, making people more willing to check their corners, and that is exactly what happened there. Toad did not condition them to check that corner, and then when he moved and had that spot, pulled it out.
Okay, wait. This round, this is the last round. It looks like it will be the Adam. Remember, Dimensional Rift means you do not get decayed until you out Cinder. We'll find Darkwing here. Everyone is trying to find the Viper. It is the time for the snake to bite, to strike, but Cinder is striking from the heavens here, but from the depths of hell. Myth will find one. The whole area could be all he needs. Toshiro on the flank. ABC is onto one as well. And now it's a 2v3. Viper spit is the suffocation between the two. Sosa will go down and the rotation back will be successful. Toad is brought pretty low as well. So that is a 2v2 where they know, yeah, we're never gonna go near B again. Or could they just take their time? They still have 40 seconds. They can go back, but looks like the commitment is the call here. Astra Stars will not be active as that Aces has successfully
30
been
seconds
eliminated from the defense. Knife will at least alert them of where the plant is, but that is all they have. 3 seconds, half HP, and I think 10 HP here on Toad. Either way, just let one shot and a very low player here in the status of ABC. Toad will take him down beautifully. A clean shot here in Trance. Just trying to find a lineup. Just trying to find anything. Toad is very low. If he taps this, you could be awaiting your demise. It looks like he's playing it smart. Both players are waiting. Both players have the good anticipation. He's just waiting for it again. Baiting the shots. Beautiful. Now you hear the reload. You just take your time. You don't give him any space to breathe. Low HP on both, but the time will not be enough. And that is 9-3. Could this be the curse, or could this be the best omen for a 3-0 for the bottom frag friends?
I mean, I was under the impression that it was the 8-4 curse, but we'll dance around and call it off there. Also, gotta shout out Young Toad there for saving their stats, managing to shave off one death of that kind of if but by a hair. And as we creep up into the first round of this map, second half of this map, potentially the last half of this match, Phantom Thieves have to find something here. I think that they have a little more power going into the attacking side than they did on their defense. And hopefully Entranced will show up here. I mean, we've said it throughout this entire match that Entranced, he's like me. All right, I totally get it. I personally don't perform too well in the first half sometimes, and then I show up in the second half. So we're showing up, Toshiro and Cinder.
Ooh, mid, a clean flick here. The adjustment headshot is very good. Decay will go back, so at least he will be alive. He's trying to find something. Looks like, ooh, your one-trick shenanigans. Capcan will find something. They are hunting for him. They know that he likes to flank. The steps are there. He is not ready for those. No one bit, and he will take him down. And now it's just a 3v2. The attackers need to find their angle. Cinder, the flick there is great. The position is good, but the Astra Star is not good enough. The defuse is there, and he will manage to find it before Toad wraps it up. Round number 10, an absolute steal under the nose of the team.
Toad actually took out Sosa there with that snake bite at the end. Probably getting an earful for that now.
I think it's the star that went awry.
No. I think no. Excuse me. Toad killed Sosa with the snake bite.
Yeah, I know, but the start, when he was starting the defuse, there was supposed to be a gravity well. That gravity well did not connect to the spike. I think that was a huge loss. Cinder already brought down to 68. They're scaling up immensely. They're trying to exploit the area that they know that can be the most vulnerable on the map. But looks like the two-man setup here is good enough to delay the clash. Tarquin will find one, but not before being traded. Toshiro, a beautiful flick for the second kill. And now it's a 3v4. Against all odds, against the gun advantage, the plant will come down. But three taking on. One to be found here, but not for doing enough damage. ABC as well will rack one up. That is gonna leave a 2v3. They know where they are at. One equal will be good enough to take the bullets. Tarquin with 2, and that will be it. Round 11. Tarquin just stole that round once again. Beautiful single player showing moments of brilliance here from the players of the bot frag friends.
I mean, at this rate, everyone's probably annoyed by it. I sound like a broken record or like a bad looped YouTube video. I don't know. But Tarquin, again, showing up when he's needed. A 4K just like that. And, I mean, the performance here is absolutely stellar. And we'll see if he can keep that performance up as we look at the buys here for Phantom Thieves. Full rifles and armor with cash to spare. No one close to any ultimates, but Tarquin, after that round win, has only one away.
Yup, ABC in this position. Toshiro could be dead, and he is. And well, that is one of your guns against the Spectre. They're not expecting the angle, but looks like that they are fully prepped here. Using the Molotov here from
Spike
KO.
planted.
Stop it, and Cinder will find one. This round has absolutely swung in the favor
them down.
of the Phantom Thieves here. It looks like it will take a bit of a break. Breakdown is there. Only a few
player
pistols
standing.
in hand, and that will be it. Sosa will wrap it up, and finally, round number 4 for the Phantom Thieves. But still, just a single step in 1,000 miles.
Excellently put. Love to hear it. And now
I should play
would
some
love to
Astral
see
Stars in this
what
reality.
happens when two teams with fully equipped weapons, one ult apiece, and almost full armor go against each other. We did see the third round drop, nothing too shocking in the usual patterns of things. Surprised that Bot Frag Friends did not pull out the second round.
over! You're dead!
Unlike that running
Teleport's
back,
broken.
which absolutely shut down. Shout out ABC for having the dragon off.
The push is there, and now ABC is stuck. The op will not find anything more than the run it back, trying to spray the decoy, but they already know what's up. So knows the news. He is not up that the op beats the rifles in a 1v1 because he will absolutely close line the player here. It's Grant in the close corner. The straight transfer is not good enough. And now it is all down to these
One
two
enemy
players.
remaining.
Sosa will be the only one left here, trying to find anything, trying to tap him down, but the Phantom will be his enemy as the match and serious point will be locked in here for the Belt Frag Friends. And it looks like the op is recovered as well, just in case. Yep, we
Match
not.
point.
We're all not in agreement. That is a very good recovery.
That is a good recovery, and yeah, I mean we're seeing the force buy for for Phantom Thieves. This is it. This and every round to follow will be for all the marbles. If they can't pull anything out here, 3 ultimates, I sure hope they use them, or else there might be a there might be some regrets later on. The walls come down, start running off the side. Moving in, finds a double kill to start this off. Not bad at all. Runs into
Wait, what's going on in this round? Okay, rounds of these will be taken down, so that is something we covered. But that will only be
Spike
the
planted.
Stinger
Portal
just
closed.
there. Will be
Welcome to
taking it
my
back. He
world.
just decided, you know, I'm gonna rescind my decision. Viper's Spit. They know what it means. They know the value. They are fighting for their tournament lives. Toshiro in a beautiful position manages to get his third. Now he's up for the ace. 2 players are very close. And already here
enemy
the
remaining.
judge. The jump with the 4th.
One enemy
Only down to
remaining.
mid finds 3. Neon is super low. And suddenly this round looks very scary. Will he find the wall bang? Will he find something back? He will. And the ace will not land. The 4K will be enough. And their tournament lives is over. GG's to both sides. But the Thieves
Defenders
will
win.
be Phantoms as they are out. And the bot frags are topping this game.
Fortunately, we will not see the run back and the potential first place reclamation from the side of Phantom Thieves, but nonetheless, 3 very, very close matches that definitely could have gone either way, and a beautiful performance from both teams there. We had it all. We had the individual plays. We had the massive macro plays, the thrifties, the aces, the clutches, everything. And I think that is exactly what we wanted to kick things off for the playoffs here. And I think, Vault, I've been preaching this entire match that I think Phantom Thieves definitely was a contestant here. They were. And I think that goes to show. And so now I guess our question becomes, do we think the bot frag friends, who, if I'm correct, they were group A, correct?
Bot pack friends?
Yes, or were they group B?
I believe that they were group A. Let me double check.
All
They
right.
were in group A, yeah, group A.
There we go. If they're in group A, what is the plan now? Because they know that actually, assuming, we'll have to get the other match results, but assuming Dorado Tango pulls things out in their match here in the playoff series, we're gonna have to see if they're ready to go for a rematch and maybe get back at it, and take their spot back that was taken from them in the group stage from Dorado Tango. And so I think that after that performance, it's really looking up, and I'm very excited to see where this team goes in the future. Again, a wonderful performance by Phantom Thieves. It may not be your split this time, but come back next split and we'll give it another try.
I have to fully agree in that sentiment as a whole. But one of the things that we have seen that has given me a lot of hope against their rematch against Dorado, even if it doesn't go well for them this time around either, is like you've seen tenacity. And that is the most important factor in a BO5. Because you can just exhaust the other people out. If every game goes for long and if you go into game 5, you still have some gas in the tank. That can be a very important factor. But so far as now goes, I have to be honest, I'm very impressed by the members of the Bot Friends, but especially actually Tarquin. He had a very good showing on the bind. He had a lot of impact facts. Sure, he might not top the scoreboards every game, but every game, you know that he will give you 1, 2, 3 rounds that maybe if there was just anyone else, he wouldn't have had provided that same kind of impact, that same kind of awareness that you get from such a good controller player.
I would second that notion. Again, Tarquin, absolutely stellar this game. Had some very mind-boggling plays, some very good plays, and I'm very excited again to see where he goes in this later tournament. And I think with that in mind, we will be wrapping things up here for
I
tonight.
mean, we will have a wait though, because we are having the MVP poll top right on the side of your Twitch chat. So everybody in the chat, you can indeed just go ahead, vote for who you think was the MVP of the series. So we will just be waiting for a few seconds.
Well, then wait, we shall. And I think going further into this too, I think that probably one of the highlights of this match was really the performance by Bot Frag Friends overall as a whole. Because I say again, they were playing with a level of aggression and confidence that fit their play style and their team composition. And there were another really big player there was Mithrid. I mean, he would come through with these big picks and big plays. Specifically, I mean, we watched I think it was the last round it was either the match point or the round.
I think it was the match point. That was the
match
4K,
point,
right?
Not the 4K. This was back on Bind when he got those 2 picks coming in from the flank on the Viper's Pit.
Oh yeah.
And I do think that, he also showed up to play, and he showed us, what a your one trick can do, because that was some tricking for sure.
I mean, it comes down to the point where I have to say I'm starting to believe in the way that they play the double duelist, because especially with the nerfs we've seen to the aggressive KO, the right clicks, and we've seen to the short range sky flashes. Suddenly, these duelist flashes have a lot more value, and Clickhead and Myth are both very proficient in that kind of usage. They have actually coordinated around that. And that is something that you don't see that often, because a lot of duelists just like to play the Jet, the Raze, but they have a more expansive repertoire. And these flashes are good enough as an alternative for the initiators for now, because for the most part, you just play off the intel or the disruption caused by, say, a fade, say, a breach. And, well, once it's that out of the way, you suddenly have a very good combination of the standard duelist that just likes to entry in and click head, and then he can also flex to other stuff if you don't want a second duelist, and then you have the Yoru just putting the shenanigans, being in everyone's head, and well, in everyone's head will be the MVP of the series. So we are just waiting for it on screen, and it will be clickhead
Clickhead.
indeed.
Indeed. Very big plays coming out from the player here. Huge picks and very good aggressive plays there, specifically on Bind. Definitely showed up to play for tonight. And what one cannot overstate the sort of I guess not necessarily the importance of recognizing a player, but giving credit where credit's due. I think these maps and this match definitely would not have been the same had Clickhead not been there, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, whether it be the Viper or it be the duelist that he plays along, I think he provides a lot of value as well, and that is the most important part. You have a lot of players that you can rely on. Like sometimes they can say, "Oh, for example, like I don't know, Myth didn't have the best Euro TP and he got caught off." You still have 2 or 3 players that you can say, "Okay, yeah, these guys can get us multi kills," and these multi kills that we've seen both out of him, both out of Myth, and as well to wrap up the triplet is Tarkham. You suddenly have 3 players that are very competent in stringing through frags and stringing through rounds that otherwise aren't as much of a case.
Indeed. And also on the topic of multi kills, shout out to Toshiro there for almost pulling his team out of it there in the end with that 4K, almost the ace clutch. But you can't win them all, but they'll definitely be there to win at the end of the day. And so now, I believe, with that in mind, we can wrap things up here. I'm Beldingo's Mike. This is Vault.
Yep. And this right here is Mr. Fantastic, our producer for the night. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. And on that bombshell, we shall wrap up the quarterfinals. But remember, tomorrow we will have VLS, and I also believe the VAS for League. Let me double check that. So tomorrow
believe
we'll
so, yeah.
have VRS for League, and VLS for Valorant. And if you tune in next week, you'll come in to see the semi-finals of the VRS Valorant as well. So with that out of the way, don't miss the action. It is always there for you on Victoris. So thank you so much and have a great evening.